Hey guys, this is Zach Cummings, UFC welterweight, middleweight, and light heavyweight. Check out Hung Overhand Right.
Welcome back to Hung Overhand Right. And today's a special day because we have Pink Lemonade back in the building.
Happy to be here.
He's been waiting for the call up for a long time.
You have no idea.
It's been a minute.
I've been waiting.
So no Dylan today, no Chad today, obviously.
God.
Clem's gonna hang out. And this is I think this is a perfect video for you, Clem, because what we're doing today is roughly the 1/3 mark of 2024. We've had a lot of UFC fights, and we're gonna go watch 6 UFC fights that could be fight of the year contenders.
Sick.
And we're gonna rate them.
Sick.
We're gonna say which one out of the 6 is fight of the year up to this point. Obviously, gonna have a lot of fights.
Yeah.
In 2024
Yeah.
after this, but we want to see what the front runner is right now.
All right.
And I'll tell you, this was really hard to narrow down to 6 because there's
how many
13 fights a week.
Yeah. How many fights did you like? What was your starting point? How many did you have in your first
I had like
rough draft?
50.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It was the first cut was pretty easy because there was fights like Dustin and Benoit Saint Denis that were finishes.
Yeah.
That I was kind of like, that doesn't really scream fight of the year to me. I mean, when somebody gets finished in the second round,
Yeah.
not fight of the year.
That's
Not
fair.
at all.
I'm trying to think
It's
of some
gotta be
other ones.
competitive, you know, it can't be one-sided.
Gaethje Holloway, I cut out because it was pretty one-sided.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it was a cool moment at the end, but pretty one-sided.
I agree, but that's getting fight of the year.
Yeah, because it
UFC.
was, I think, 4 rounds to 1.
Yeah.
In that.
One judge had it 2-2, which was ridiculous. But
Yeah, that's crazy.
like Tavares, Rodriguez, Rodriguez finished him. So it's like, I don't know. It doesn't have to be a decision necessarily, but it needs to be like back and forth, crazy fight.
Right.
Burns, Della Maddalena, a lot of grappling from Burns in that one.
Mm-hmm.
So
And Gilbert's kind of underrated now.
yeah, for sure. Moicano Dober, second round finish.
Ooh.
Cut that out. I mean,
Yeah.
so the point is that the first cut was somewhat easy because some of those fights are just not in contention for me that were, one-sided finish.
Have you already made a predetermined decision over what you think the fight of the year is?
I haven't.
But
I
you've
mean,
watched all these.
yeah, I mean, we watched all of them.
Well, I know we've watched them, but
I haven't watched all of them back
Okay.
like, recently, but I did watch some of these to kind of decide if I thought it should be in here. But you guys know me. I like first fight of the night just the same as the last fight of the night. So some of these are not household names necessarily.
right.
All right.
And we're going to start with this first one, not household names, but it was on the first pay-per-view of the year, UFC 297, and it was Ramon Tavares versus Serhiy City, and this was actually a rematch. These guys had fought before this on the Contender Series, and it was a really early stoppage where Serhiy City won the fight. But the rematch, this was in Canada. City's he's Ukrainian, but he lives in Canada.
You say early stoppage, as in I saw it was early in the fight. Did you think it was stopped, or did you think the ref stepped in too soon?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, he kind of like dropped Tavares down to a knee, if I remember right, and the ref just like stepped in.
Oh shit. Okay.
And Dana gave Tavares another Contender Series fight like immediately. He was like, "We're gonna bring you back to the Contender Series immediately." All right, we ready?
Let's do it.
This fight was a banger, and this crowd, these Canadian crowds, this is in Toronto. The Canadian crowds are always fucking awesome.
They really are. Just like Australian crowds.
Side note, this could be, if I remember right, if we did a video about robberies, this may be on there.
Well, okay.
You know,
Look at these tats, dude.
we're gonna skip to the fight.
for sure. Hello.
Tavares, really good boxer. I really like this guy, but he seems to never have luck on his side.
It's a good leg kick.
I'll turn this up a little bit so we can hear the crowd. Clem,
That might sway
heard,
our decision, bro.
huh?
That might sway our decision here in the crowd, dude.
Make it realistic.
Yeah.
Clem, you ever heard of either of these guys?
I have not.
Okay.
That back piece is gonna be sick when it's done.
Yeah, it will be. That was crisp. That was a nice exit too.
Tavares is very like by the books boxing, you know. Got a little Sugar Ray Leonard shuffle sometimes.
I love the combo of a traditional boxer, with good fundamentals with a wrestler.
Yeah.
Also wrestles. I
Yeah.
mean, what's more dangerous than that, really? If you're wrestling so good it diminishes jiu-jitsu.
Who's the best example of that?
Of a wrestler boxer?
I feel like Chandler's definitely in that conversation.
Chandler's in that conversation for sure.
Who else?
Well, I mean, I guess prime Tony, but he never wrestled. You know, I'm talking about guys who actually wrestle.
Yeah, and Tony also, nothing was traditional about
and he wasn't
his boxing.
Yeah, you're right. That's a bad example. I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
He's eating him up with those leg kicks.
City's not a as well schooled in traditional boxing, but he's also a pretty good boxer himself.
Yeah, he
almost leaned into that. A lot of volume.
That's a nice liver shot.
Clem, what do you think about you've fought somebody the same person multiple times as an amateur.
Yeah.
What do you if you're these two guys, what does that change or what's the thought process?
I mean, you kind of have a basis of what you know they're going to do and what they like to do, but you never you never can be too sure. I mean, people change their game plan and people are always evolving. I know that, like, because even when I'm every 6 months or so, I try to think about that. Like, would I beat my ass from 6 months ago? And if I can't say yes to that, then I know I need to change what I'm doing, basically.
Interesting.
And so other people are doing that as well, obviously. So, I mean, you have an idea, like, sure, my striking can get better, or I may be a little bit more craftier on the ground, but I'm always going to be a ground person, you know? So you can kind of bank on it in that way. I'm not going to go from trying to just absolutely wrestle fuck somebody to stand and bang with them most of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can kind of understand what they're thinking, but it's hard to go for specific combos and things like that. You really would just have to look at what had success against you, and understand that's probably what they're going to go back to and see if it still works.
Right.
Well, what makes this fight interesting is that, and I don't remember the specific punch that Tavares got hit with on the Contender Series, but it was kind of like a flash knockdown. So it's like, well, I guess what would make this fight interesting the second time is that it wasn't like one major hole in Tavares' game that got him caught. So
Cracked him right there.
Yeah, that hurt.
And also, I heard Dan Hardy one time say that about some fight he was breaking down that they're playing games within games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Meaning that in this situation, the guy says, "Okay, he's going to expect me to do this, so I'm going to do this."
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy's saying, "Okay, he knows that that I know that he's going to do that.
Yeah.
So he's going to do this, so I'm going to do this."
Literal chess match.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's why I love people. Some of my favorite fighters are people like Corey Sandhagen, because you know that they're masters at that, and they're always thinking.
The guys making adjustments on the fly.
That's
fascinating.
That's so much of the sport. I mean,
That's really what it's turning into. Who's going to be the smartest, quickest, thinker?
Especially with striking. Obviously grappling, I'm sure, is similar, but I feel like with the striking, especially, like a guy like Volk and a guy like Sandhagen, I think Volk's the best example. He makes reads on people, and within a minute of the fight is changing the way he's doing things based on those reads.
You can just tell his body that hey, you're not gonna get choked out right now. I'm just gonna
that's
I'm just gonna you're gonna not let this happen.
Tavares clipped him right there at the end of the round.
yeah.
Shit talking. I'd give that to Tavares, huh?
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. Is it City or Sidey? City, I felt like had more volume and landed more, but Tavares had the more damaging shots for sure.
And City, he came forward a lot more. I mean, and that means something.
Ring control.
Every judge is different, but that definitely means something.
Means something to fans. I don't know about judges.
That's supposed to be the last thing on their what they look for. If everything else is even, they look at ring control and cage control.
And that's what is so baffling about some of these fights is that effective striking and grappling is what decides it, unless that is equal.
Yeah.
That's never equal.
That one right there, I think he was already going down.
I do too.
I don't think that shot was what made him look like he got wobbled.
Those step-in elbows are so risky. Like step-in lead elbow.
Yeah.
He probably knows Tavares isn't going to shoot, but like against a guy that will shoot, that's a sketchy thing to do. I love how he dyed his hair red right there.
just now in the fight.
Yeah.
It's pretty common actually.
Both guys dyed hair, I think. I know Tavares for sure.
Well,
look at the head movement.
Yeah,
they're definitely both dyed.
They both have really, really cool striking. I like both of their styles a lot.
I do too. It's scrappy.
Tavares, he's a little too pretty with the striking. Like,
yeah,
you gotta get going here.
Man, I don't remember this fight. I gotta say. Correct him.
Ooh, jumped out of the.
Dang.
Oh, Jesus. Let's go ahead and eat some, huh? Oh, I remember this card because of those fuckers in the white hoodies.
This was Sean and Drickus card.
That's right.
I mean, City's busted the fuck up now.
Oh, wow.
He's rubbing it all over his hair.
Yeah. His tick, putting his hands up on his head like that.
But see, he just no quitting him. Like he's back to the game plan. Not a lot of Ukrainians in the UFC. He lives in Canada, but he's Ukrainian. I mean, Peteria, the only one I can really think of.
There's a decent amount in boxing, though. Huh?
Yeah, Lomachenko.
Best.
Man, he is gushing.
That's bad.
It's busted up.
Just walking forward.
I can't believe Gaethje's nose wasn't gushing blood when Max hit him with that.
That had a huge effect.
Huge factor.
I think. Like
so
that was
immediately his eyes watered up. He couldn't see.
Gaethje just couldn't touch him anymore.
Ooh.
Yeah,
and I think that
just
was
like most people who fight Max can't touch him. Fucking Cater. Well, you know what I mean. Like, he does get pieced up, but
he gets hit a lot. But yeah, that's what makes that fight so baffling to me is because Max barely got touched. He got dropped once.
Yeah.
They didn't count it.
They didn't count it.
He got dropped.
That's what even Izzy said that in the moment. It's like, oh, you just got dropped for the first time.
Yeah.
In the crowd.
Oh, that was nice.
I
almost made the comment a couple minutes ago that Tavares was just slipping out of range every time on the uppercuts and hooks with like that pullback too.
Yeah.
And it seems like City's starting to find his range better. Oh, as he messed up. But he's starting to find his range a little more.
I mean, there's the old adage of crowd the kicker doesn't apply here, but I feel like similar concept for a really good boxer. I mean, they can't fire off these real nice 1-2s when you're crowding them like this.
Yeah, you're not getting away with anything.
Oh, that was nice. I would like to see City throw a few more knees here.
Yeah.
Especially if he keeps pulling back and slipping or rolling under your punches. Send a knee up off of one of those.
Yeah.
Almost seems like they're both playing like, all right, who's a better boxer here? Fuck everything else.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I love these striking matches. And it's not like a they're humping legs type thing. It's more just like aesthetically,
I get
this is more pleasing for me to watch, and I feel like I understand this a lot more
For sure.
than the grappling.
I think City just won this round more definitively than Tavares won the first round.
For sure.
But City got dropped in this round.
That's true, but
it's
coming back and looking that good.
It's got to be 10-9.
Yeah.
Like 10-9 first for Tavares, 10-9 second for City.
And he got dropped, but he immediately recovered, went back into it, took no damage from the drop.
So it's probably 1-1.
I would guess 1-1.
And ending the round that way that's good.
Yeah.
Momentum's in his hands.
I want to find the scorecards, the actual ones that
Oh, they're going to be dog
they
shit.
had for this one.
I hate scorecards so much.
I hate that they decide people's careers. In red, covered in red.
You're saying City?
Yeah.
He lives in Canada, like trains in Canada.
Ooh, that was crisp.
Did you watch this card?
I don't remember watching this.
Strickland Duplessis.
I rewatched that fight. I didn't get to watch the card.
Yeah, I thought you were out of town or something.
Yeah.
If I remember right, the name value wise, there wasn't a ton on this one. They just had a ton of Canadians on there.
I remember winning a bet, picking Drickus.
Sean, that really like changed my outlook on Sean a little bit. Like,
I like that slip off dig to the liver that he keeps trying. That
Yeah.
City keeps trying. That's nice.
Shit adds up big time. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
The first time you punched me in the liver, it fucking sucked.
You probably deserved it.
I did not, dude. You should feel bad about
There's not a single
every
person
time
here
you've
that
ever
believes
hit
that.
me. You should feel really fucking shitty about it.
I don't. I'll do it again right now.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Am I gonna pay for running
It's
out?
crazy how many outside leg kicks he's connected with Tavares' back leg.
yeah.
And it doesn't look like it's affecting Tavares at all, for the most part.
Ooh.
Like in Muay Thai, that's actually like a thing they try to do. They try to kick like both legs, but
He's catching him off of a certain pivot and stance change every time he goes to it, though. He's really limiting his offense by doing that.
He's giving you your knees you wanted, though. Starting to throw him a little more.
okay. So all three judges gave the first round to Tavares.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
2 of the 3 gave the second round to City.
2.
1 gave it to Tavares.
I agree with that.
10-9, obviously.
So far, so good.
Well,
So
you
Tavares
thought
on
City
one
won
card
the
is up
second round?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one judge gave it to Tavares, though.
Yeah, but I didn't. I don't think that's so egregious compared to other shit I've seen.
Fair.
So yeah. 28.
Because that one judge cared about the knockdown.
Yeah.
Is what that was.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like that affected the pace or the change of the round enough.
No.
Not to outscore what City did.
I just the stick to itiveness from Surrey City here is crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just eating these punches and he's just still getting after him. And I think this is a situation where anybody who gets booked against Tavares from here on out will see this fight and be like, okay, I know what I have to do.
Yeah. Put it on him.
Just pressure him a lot. Whether you're striking or grappling, like just pressure.
As of right now, I got City winning this fight.
When he kicked his back leg like that, I wish City would have taken the kick high instead. He pulled it back out of the way that time. And
Yeah.
he left his head forward when he pulled it out. He should have sent that straight up.
40 seconds left in the round.
Yeah, right here, I'd act like I'm going for a leg kick. Oh, see, he changed stances again. I'd act like I'm going for a leg kick and send it high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They went high with the other leg.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was
elbow.
a nice one.
The one time Tavares goes forward, he eats
Dang,
an
this
elbow.
is a good-ass third round.
Yeah. I think both of these guys are very aware of where they're at in this fight.
I'm interested to see. Neither of them have fought since this, but I don't remember if either of them are booked again. But I'm interested to see them fight other people.
Great fight.
That was an excellent fight.
Yeah. Who do we think won?
City.
You might have saw the result. I had it pulled up earlier.
I
didn't see the result.
I gotta think City won that.
Yeah.
So is that? Do we think that just obviously we haven't seen the other ones on here, but
that one has potential. That was a good fight. I liked that fight a lot.
I think there's going to be better fights on this than that, but that was
a good starting fight, if nothing else.
Like, we're not ranking these until we've seen them all, right?
Yeah, I mean, I figured you just when we see the next one, write down if you
Which
think
one was better.
Yeah.
There's a rumor that on split decisions, he always turns towards the winner or the loser first.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
that. And also, like, it's... Yeah, I don't know about that. I'd say you got robbed.
In a close-ass fight, there's no such thing as a robbery. You just viewed it differently.
Not robbed. It was just, I think they gave way too much weight to his knockdown. But you know what it really is? Also damage is what the reason. Another thing.
Yeah, sure. After the fight,
Look how busted up City is. He's busted the fuck up.
I thought City won because I thought the effective striking and grappling was really close, and there was just one major difference, and it was the forward pressure. That's what I thought would decide it in that situation. But either way, good fight.
Yeah,
they're one apiece now, technically, although City won with a early stoppage previously. But all right, next one. We've already mentioned it, and I debated putting this one on here, but it was on two lists I looked at literally it was the top one.
I got a potty for this fight.
Well,
I'm 4 beers in.
You better go now because it's gonna be a while. Same card, main event, Strickland Duplessis. This was on the top of two lists I looked at. Clem, what do you think of Dricus Duplessis? Because before I let you answer that, I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
I have never once thought he was going to win a fight. I think
that's fair.
His technical abilities, to me, are super limited. But what I do respect about him is he just wants it more than the guys he's fighting.
Yeah, he finds a way.
Yeah.
Winners win. I'm not his biggest fan. I don't know. I am Mark Goddard's biggest fan. He's my favorite ref.
Really?
Yeah.
Not Herzog?
No. I like Goddard a lot.
Not Herb? Gold standard?
No.
I hate Herb's guts, honestly.
I know you do.
I'm not even a big Mark Smith guy, really, either.
Mark Smith?
Yeah.
I think just Rogan rode his nuts that one time.
Yeah. Oh, he flew fighter planes. Ooh.
Yeah, cool.
Speaks Russian. Wow. Whoa. We all do that.
Herzog's my number one, hands down. I do like Goddard. Goddard's my second.
Jason Darty, you mean?
Huh?
Herzog looks like Coach Darty from...
He does. Herzog looks just like a coach that we had at Nixa.
Really?
Same size and everything. I watched Seth McGuire elbow him in the face one time in the hallway.
Did Darty...
Darty took him down and slammed him on the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for him.
And just mounted him. And just held him there.
I feel like Dricus really looked a lot better in this fight.
For sure. Look, I thought technically. I don't dislike Dricus, but I think that, yeah, I mean, I think he just knows how to win.
And also, yeah,
that's what we were saying.
And he didn't even, if I remember right, here's the thing about these fights. we watch them, especially if it's a main event, we're not sober for them.
Oh no.
Sure.
So
Never.
my memory of every aspect of this fight is very limited.
Yeah. And then when you're more drunk and you're watching, you're like more biased and more passionate.
Yes.
And then
But with that being said, well, what I was going to say is Drickus usually tries to wrestle. He didn't even try to wrestle in this fight.
Yeah, he was trying to make a point.
Second of all, bias or not, I was rooting for Sean, but I do not think he won this fight.
I don't think he won either.
Like
everybody thinks that he got robbed. I don't think he got robbed at all.
I think only he thinks he got robbed.
I agree.
He didn't, in my opinion, he didn't do enough, and that's why I was debating on even making this on, like putting this on here, but it was just on people's lists too much for me to not. But I just don't think Sean. I don't think Sean did enough to make it fight of the year.
No. He just, I
just don't enjoy Sean's style.
It doesn't make
His
sense.
stance, I just don't. I don't know.
So Clem, what I want you to do in this fight, aside from analyzing if it could be fight of the year, is take what you remember from the Izzy fight where Sean won and compare it to what Drickus did in this fight to beat him. By the end of it, I want to know what do you think Drickus did different here that made him beat Sean right after Sean beat Izzy?
body kicks, first of all.
Okay.
Because
Gosh, I'm trying to remember
Izzy couldn't do nothing.
Izzy didn't do anything.
Yeah.
He couldn't touch him.
He punched him maybe once.
Yeah.
In the whole fight.
Sean dropped Izzy. And so
clobbered his ass.
But I vaguely remember that fight, but I feel like in that fight, Sean just really pushed forward and
Yes.
didn't give him any space, right?
Yes.
Is that okay?
I think Sean went in there expecting to lose and gave it everything he got and just just gave him the toughest version of himself. And then he went into this thinking that he could beat him pretty easily.
yeah.
That's fair. Because I mean, even in that, he's backing up, he's getting out of range.
That's
Yeah.
That's the number one thing for me.
He's not applying pressure.
He's basically Drickus is being Sean right now.
Right.
The Sean that fought Izzy.
But that's Drickus' best weapon, in my opinion, is that he gets in people's faces no matter who they are and he walks them down. And that's what Strickland is known for. And then he's just getting out Strickland.
And
That's probably exactly.
Sean's run up to the belt, aside from the Pereira knockout, obviously, was guys just being okay with just kind of standing there in the middle.
True.
And just trading. And
True.
you're never going to beat Sean that way. So, I guess there is grappling in this fight.
Well, Sean definitely should not have just sat there and struck the back of his head and should have been fighting hands and preventing that takedown.
I bet Duplessis came out with a little bit of a different strategy than what Sean was prepared for.
Yeah, for sure.
I bet standing and bang probably messed Sean up a lot. The fact that he was in his face like that, throwing and not shooting.
But also, Duplessis is a brick shithouse, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I bet you he's stronger than Izzy for sure.
Yeah.
I think Drickus has a thing that none of us will ever understand because we'll never be in there with him. But I think he's got like you'll only understand how effective he is when you're in there
When
with
you're getting
him,
your ass beat by him.
because everything he does
Doesn't look pretty.
it looks terrible.
Deceivingly good, I think.
Mhm.
It looks shitty. Like,
yeah.
This is effective.
Yeah.
but, yeah.
I will say though, his kicks I think
Jeez.
are a huge deciding factor in the difference between how Izzy went about fighting Sean.
He's just way thicker.
Yeah.
Oh, he's thick.
But
as fuck.
that's the whole thing, is that Izzy didn't even have space to kick
Yeah.
against Sean.
Oh, that was a good exchange. I like Drickus, man.
There was a fair amount of beef leading up to this too, right?
Oh yeah,
Between these two.
Kinda.
a lot of shit talk.
Well,
nothing
but
like
then
personal.
they ran into each other, and there was that video.
There was
of them,
respect.
Yeah, and
But,
Okay.
well, no, it's because Drickus was like basically giving him shit for like being molested and stuff like that. He didn't say that, but he was like,
Yeah.
right.
he was kind of like making fun of him
and
for
then of all
crying and being emotional.
people, Sean was like, "Hey,
yeah, you can't do that.
this is off limits."
Yeah.
and Drickus was like, "Okay, that's fine."
And then Sean's like made fun of like training partners dying before and like dogs
Yeah.
dying and
That really like because Sean sent him a DM saying like, "Hey, at the press conferences, like,
if you do it again, I will.
don't talk about this." And Drickus was like, "Okay," and he didn't.
But Sean
But it's
also
like-
literally was like, "Listen, if you do that again, I'll fucking shoot you." He was like threatening his life.
I know, but
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
it's like Sean. Like, look at your own Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I like Sean, but it's like,
Well, he can't. He's
Really?
not. He's not good at being the nail.
no. I mean, the shit he said about Ian Gary, like,
Yeah, the
It's
Ian Gary
crazy.
shit was wild. Poor Ian Gary really does not deserve all the shit from Colby and Sean that he's been getting all this heat from.
I've been saying the whole and fuck Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan's the worst with Ian Gary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, these guys are just
Which, by the way, he liked Ian Gary before that.
yeah.
Like he was liked him and was rooting for him.
I mean, to get this personal with Ian Gary's like personal life, I feel like is not right.
I would never talk about another man's wife or mother or.
But the
anything like
the thing
that,
is,
you
is
know?
that like the MMA community as a whole seems to be like on board with it.
Money, baby.
Everyone hates Ian Gary now. Fans,
No, I don't.
fighters.
I don't hate him at all, and I think that he beats Colby. I think Colby's lost it a little bit.
I don't
Colby's
know.
been way too inactive, talking too much shit.
Colby's style is going to be a problem for Ian Gary,
I agree, but
unless Colby does what he did last fight. But
yeah, exactly. He has not been showing out last few years. Now, if it's the Colby that showed up against RDA, I think
Yeah.
that Colby would have already been champ if he showed up every time like that.
I think Leon's another guy similar to Drickus being deceptively good at striking. I think Leon's deceptively good at not getting taken down.
Agreed.
And not getting any fans.
And I don't understand it, but yeah, he is good at that. Although England, that whole country's, they're big on him.
I think they're just big on anybody who's punching somebody in the face over there.
But I mean, nobody seemed to be able to really make Leon fight off his back.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Usman the first fight maybe did, but since then, I mean, no.
Never liked Leon or rooted for Leon except for when they fought Usman.
You didn't root. Oh, you rooted for Leon against Usman.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And the only time I've ever rooted for Usman was against. Oh no, the only time I rooted for Tyron Woodley was against Usman, and then Usman just foot stomped him into the ground.
I was kind of rooting for Usman against Khamzat,
Oh, I was too,
and if it was 5 rounds, he would have won.
and he would have 100%. I forgot about that fight.
So
Usman's kind of come around on me. Like he's not. You know, I don't hate the guy.
yeah,
Usman has.
Yeah,
he's boring.
I just used to fucking just.
Boring
Not be able to
personality,
stand
boring
him.
fight style.
Yeah, I just didn't like his shit talk and his arrogance.
Yeah, everything he throws to avoid it and slip it, Sean is slipping backwards.
oh yeah,
He's taking himself out of range to counter.
his Sean's striking defense is like guessing right
Nice check.
on putting his hands up like this,
Yep.
and it's leaning backwards,
Yep.
and it's all because all he does is spar. Like
Yeah.
I don't feel like
Scores more than anybody ever.
he probably hits mitts like once a week for like 30 minutes, and then he just spars the rest of the week.
Have you ever worn one of those gadgets that they do to where when you're sparring somebody, it can tell you how many times you've been hit and how many times you've hit somebody else?
Mm-mm.
Because they did that to Sean, and he has hit more people and not been hit in sparring than anybody else.
And that's the thing. His whole style is like a sparring style.
Yeah. But he has to slide. If he tries to jam the big overhands, like he's going to throw an elbow or a short boxing combination off of it, he's going to end up getting taken down. So he has to slide backwards, which is taking him out of range. He didn't have to do that with Izzy because he knew Izzy wasn't going to take him down.
I just wish. I mean, yeah, but I wish instead of leaning, he would just move his feet more.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I understand. And he needs to cut an angle, throw, and then cut an angle back. Like,
yeah.
make Duplessis follow you even when he can touch you, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you stand there and try to jam him, this is what's going to happen.
I think.
So it's forcing him to move out of range every time.
Yeah.
And so he's only getting punches off when he starts the offense.
Sean just doesn't hit hard enough
Right.
to make Drickus not want to come forward.
Who would have thought?
I also
Duplessis
think
was
as a
bad
whole,
stylistic matchup.
with the fight, for anybody who thought that Sean won this fight, I think they're just paying attention to the fact that Sean was already champ, and that you got to definitively beat the champ to become the champ,
Yeah.
and the damage aspect, because Drickus is more busted up at the end of this fight than Sean was.
Yeah.
Even though I think Dricus won the fight.
The beat the champ to be the champ thing. If this is your first title defense, if that is a real thing in people's minds, it can't apply to your first title defense.
I agree.
If you're, I mean, GSP Hendricks, that's one thing, but when you just won the belt, that's in fact, I feel like lately that hasn't really been the case.
No, I think it was more of an old school.
Yeah.
For sure. Just like, I mean, that a good example of that would be Thiago Santos versus John Jones.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Dominic Reyes versus John Jones.
Reyes more for sure.
More, yeah.
Thiago Santos blew 3 ligaments in his knee and still should have won the decision.
Yeah.
As of now, this is not even close to the last fight we saw.
I'll bet.
No, not at all.
I'll bet Duplessis ends up faking shots to get kind
of like that.
Sean to take his legs back and then come back over the top with those big overhands.
He literally just did that right when you were saying that. Right there. Boom.
Yeah. Lowering down and making Sean think down like he's got to defend a shot all of a sudden. Because right now he's coming in one dimensional. I'm either going to wrestle or I'm going to strike. If he starts blending that, I think he'd have more success here. I don't remember watching this fight. I actually think that this happened on...
I know you were doing something.
I want to say it happened on one of the nights that I was cornering.
That makes sense.
I was busy.
That's what I think too. Because we were here doing...
Was this like in January or something? Maybe February?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to say I was cornering at a fight show at that point.
That sounds right. We potted this one, and I remember watching it, but good and drunk by then.
Sure.
But I remember betting on Dricus, knowing he won, and thinking he won at the end of it the next day.
Right. Yeah, I definitely liked the last fight better.
Oh yeah.
Sean's doing a pretty good job at not getting hit, but that's it. I mean,
yeah, but he's not hitting back though.
Right.
I mean, I know Duplessis has a little bit of a busted up eye right now, but the landed punches from Strickland are far and few in between. It feels like
Dricus. He did whatever he wanted here,
but
this whole fight,
I just don't think anybody has really talked about the amount of leg and body kicks Dricus has landed against Sean. And Izzy didn't even tempt that shit in the fight.
No.
I think those body kicks really have... I mean, dude, it's over and over again.
I mean, I don't think it's not affecting like cardio or anything.
No, but it's affecting his striking advantages.
Well, I think he started chopping those down because Sean kept moving backwards. So he's going to start slowing his legs down.
Yeah. I mean, you would think Sean is like, okay, I'm getting kicked to the body, which is like a different range than the hands. Yeah. I need to go forward,
right,
to not get kicked in the body,
right,
instead of backwards.
He's putting himself into the body lock range to get taken down.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's why he's sliding backwards every time.
But Dricus
got an easy takedown on him earlier.
He did, but he's not like some fucking D1 wrestler. I mean,
no, I know, but neither is Strickland. Strickland's supposed to be a black belt, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's black
Wish
belt.
I could fucking see that.
Is Dricus not a black belt?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really like.
A lot of people are just getting their black belts these days. So, you saw Alex Pereira.
That was dumb.
Gave him a black belt. No jiu-jitsu in the whole fucking fight.
In the jiu-jitsu world, I'm sure a black belt means more than it does in the UFC.
Yeah,
to me, like,
of course,
the UFC is like everyone's a black belt.
Is he still
also,
purple?
It's also no gi jiu-jitsu. That, you know what I mean? Like,
sure,
if they're, for the most part, these guys are training.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how's everyone a black belt then?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. And also,
because in the gi they're doing no gi, they're just not using grips when they attack people. So they're still beating people that are in the gi when they're in the gi.
But I'm saying, like, how are they given their belt unless they are training with a gi on?
That's what I mean. They're training in the gi. If I'm in a gi and he's in a gi, and my submissions are still just no gi submissions, I'm still beating you up while we're both in a gi.
Oh, okay.
Which is harder to.
Yeah, that's what I do when I start
with a gi on.
Yeah,
I hate wearing a guy
playing the game on hard. That's what Joey says.
I fucking hate it. I think most people hate it. I've heard so many people talk about hate wearing that shit.
I liked it. Is my favorite.
Yeah.
Gi?
Well, you're just
Gi.
used to it though.
That's my favorite aspect of training every week.
But what I hate about it is just it feels like it slows me down, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's getting caught on the grip of the mats
Yeah.
and shit. And you can
that's
be
the whole
gooned.
thing is the bigger guys that are stronger like the gi more than smaller guys.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So
Did you see my biceps earlier, dude?
because if you can just fucking grab whatever you want and just
Goon people.
throw some little guy
I feel
around.
like it slows down athleticism too.
Yes.
And most of the guys I trained with back when I did were all bigger than me. So
Yeah,
that did
that's
not
what I'm saying.
fucking help.
Again.
Like
Fuck you.
remember Brandon Wan?
Yeah,
Was that his
Yeah,
name?
dude, that motherfucker.
I rode with him today, actually, on the way to West Plains.
He's does he have black yet? Or is he still
he does
yeah,
have a black belt.
That's cool. Good for him. 'Cause he was
Purple, probably.
purple when
yeah.
I was training. He was a high purple.
Yeah, I want to say he got a black belt 1 or 2 years ago.
That's right. I remember that. He's a big guy for
Dude, his brother was a lineman for the Chiefs and the Raiders.
oh wow.
Same size, I guess.
Seth Wan? Is that his name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he must be a hard ass.
I just now, as soon as you said that, I just put this together. I never put this together before, but when I was really young, we lived next to his dad. And I remember
Oh,
my
that's
dad
cool.
saying, oh, yeah, his son plays for I think it was the Texans at that time.
I want to say he played for the Texans
Yeah.
as well, yeah.
That's his brother?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently they're about pretty much the same size.
Mm-hmm.
So
So there
B1's an easy 350.
so B1
Easy.
would just choke him out in a fight.
Yeah.
For sure. Even though his
but
brother's
Brandon
probably
Wan is not touching a quarterback, I'll tell you that.
Huh?
Brandon Wan against Seth Wan,
Yeah.
Nah.
quarterbacks are not getting touched.
In a fight?
He didn't get it.
Yeah, I don't.
Brandon Wan's not getting through to sack the quarterback if they're playing lineman. Brandon Wan might beat him in a fight, but he's not going to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were still just talking about a fight.
No.
I mean, but that's obvious.
You're obvious. You're obviously dumb.
the
and ugly.
jiu-jitsu
Which means
guy
that
is
Seth
gonna-
Wan would be better at
Yeah.
sumo wrestling.
Just let me drink and just
Then
space
Brandon.
out.
Okay.
So I think the moral of the story is if you have this on your list of potential fight of the years, you're wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Would agree.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, still good.
Yeah,
fight.
I mean, I guess
Hands
it's still
definitely
early
a
in
good
the year,
fight.
so they were limited on what they could do.
Also
5-round
that.
championship fight.
Yeah,
We're 4 months into the year.
and that's the thing. That if you're like most people are gonna
In
be
December, this
biased
should not be one of
towards
your.
main events or
Yeah.
big names,
Of course.
but last fight was way better than this.
Yeah. Come December, this should absolutely not be one of your top contenders.
Nope.
No. But I would put a lot of money saying that there will not be a crazier fight we will see this year than Holloway and Gaethje. I mean, you know,
Crazy
crazy.
with the ending.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
unexpected. Nobody could have ever guessed that would happen, kind of thing. You know,
Yeah, see, Sean's getting busted up now too, though.
He is.
Yeah.
I don't remember him
He's
getting
doing
busted
nice
up
about
like that.
scrambling to the cage, too. Every time he gets taken down, he's went to the cage to use it to get up.
Yeah,
I do remember the very next morning, he sent a video on Instagram of him being up on a ladder, like fixing a gutter or some shit on his roof. He was like doing construction work the next morning.
Ooh. That's wild.
He's a crazy bastard, dude.
yeah. I don't know. I've kind of soured on Sean, like just as me being a fan of
Yeah.
his.
I'm still a fan. You know, I knew Drickus was going to beat him before the fight.
He's moving backwards slower. Duplessis having a little bit more success on the. He's landing 1 or 2 before he gets out of range now.
I don't think
Yeah.
Drickus. I don't
That
think Drickus.
switch stance. Was
I
Yeah.
don't think Drickus stays at the top long. I think he loses.
I don't
shit
either.
Pretty quick.
Isn't he fighting Izzy next?
I think Izzy beats him.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that they're going to do that.
Yeah.
But the thing is like I don't. It's not going to be in Africa. That's what they want. They both want it.
Oh. Dana's been talking about that for
Years, but and it's going to happen, but they're not going to be able to pull.
why
that
why
off.
couldn't they do it in South Africa? Is what like.
You know what they need to do it?
All you need is Drickus and Cameron Simon.
You know
over there.
where they're going to do it. This is what I think is going to happen. They're going to do it in the Sphere for the Chandler Connor card.
What
Drickus and Izzy.
Yep.
What rounds were the fans that had Strickland Jesus, that they had him winning?
I'll tell you.
Like the fans that are claiming that Strickland was robbed. Like
Yeah.
what
The casuals.
rounds are that? Yeah,
So on MMA Decisions, I'm telling you guys and the listeners on MMADecisions.com, you can go look at any fight and you can see the actual scorecards that the judges had it, and the fan voted.
Oh, that's sick.
Scorecards, and also I think media too. There's like media members that do their cards on here too.
He went to beat your ass after this podcast.
Okay.
I'm funny.
Don't hurt me, Seth.
I don't remember him being that busted up. I'm not gonna lie.
You were probably pissed drunk.
Definitely.
Sean throws 1 2-piece combos, and they're all straight, and the last one will be a big loop.
You're right.
Like,
I think Duplessis is just not scared to throw wild shit. He did spinning back elbow earlier, just did a spinning back kick. Like, he doesn't show you any respect when he's in your face. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I like about him.
And to be fair, against Sean, you don't really have to respect anything he's doing.
It's true. I don't think that Dricus will fight like that against Izzy.
No.
This is not, you know.
it's almost exactly how he should fight against Izzy.
Yeah, for sure. Especially after seeing what Sean did.
Well, I bet he will fight like this against Izzy.
You think he'll throw crazy shit though? You think he'll be spinning and stuff on him?
No, but it'll be come forward,
Yeah,
bang,
he'll
shoot
definitely
takedowns.
do that.
You know what fight I'm crazy excited about? It has nothing to do with this, but it might end up being fight of the year. Kamzat and Whitaker.
Dude, let's go Whitaker all day.
Let's go Whitaker.
Bobby
It's
nuts all
not going
fucking
to be
day.
fight of the year because it's going to be Rob on his butt.
Yeah.
Oh, you think?
I mean, Rob, he has like phenomenal get-up game, but
Do you? You think
it's
Kamzat wins?
3 rounds, right? Or is it main event?
I think it's main. I think it's
Okay,
5.
so that changes things a little bit. Rob's a little too. He respects people a little too much sometimes.
I feel like he didn't used to though, and that's when he was on top back in the day.
Oh, that uppercut was nice. I know it missed, but that was a good add-in there.
I love Rob.
Rob's one of my favorites.
as much as the next guy, but
top 5
he's
for
a little too low volume sometimes,
Okay.
and especially against a guy who will shoot takedowns over and
But
over.
Rob is relentless and can get vicious.
I mean, if Dricus wants to do what he did, or not Dricus, Kamzat wants to do what he did against Burns, then I think fight of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, or you're knocked out potentially, but
I don't think he's gonna knock
He's
out
not-
Bobby, dude.
no, I'm
I
saying
hope not.
if he does what he did against Burns, Bobby will knock him out.
Yeah.
But he's not going to do that.
Listen,
don't
I
think.
will be a happy motherfucker that night if Bobby wins that fight, dude, because I'm not a Kamzat fan.
That's the Saudi Arabia one, right?
Sounds right.
Yeah.
What? Wait, hold on. I thought there was another. I thought there was maybe that was the co-main.
This round is for the belt. Really, Jamal?
But
What a loser, right? He just lost.
Yeah.
to
What an
answer
idiot, dweeb.
your earlier question, 50.2% of fan votes had it 48-47 Sean.
50% of the fans.
That's preposterous.
Yeah, though it's 50% of people who don't know what they're.
36.9 had it 48-47 Dricus.
That tells us that half of the fans of UFC are casuals.
Yeah.
Which that checks out,
Yeah,
right?
that does.
That checks out. Thanks, Connor.
The actual judges. Well, we'll wait
He's
for that.
sprawled. Strickland's up.
The media had, let's see, 2, 4, 13 media members had it 48-47 Dricus. 2, 4, 9 had it 48-47 Strickland. So the media is
I'd expect
definitely more accurate
Yeah.
compared to what the judges had it. One media member had it 49-46 Sean.
Yeah. That's,
4 rounds to 1.
yeah. Who? Nina?
Someone's wow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Right.
I love Nina, dude.
Combatpress.com. I like Nina physically,
I like her a lot. No, I
but
think she's fun.
I hate her interviews.
Oh, I think she's fun. She's changing it up. She's
She
cute.
tries to be.
She's likable.
She tries to be awkward on purpose,
Yeah.
and it's awkward.
Maybe. I don't know. I bet she's fucking rad. And I'm a huge fan of that Playboy shoot. So, he ate that one.
I will say, leading up to this, her interview with Dricus actually made me really like Dricus a lot more because he was like,
Yeah, he's cool, man. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's chill. And he also showed respect. I mean, those guys brawled in the fucking, in the crowd the event before.
They did, yeah.
And then afterwards, he still was like, "Okay, man, I won't say any more shit about your childhood, and we can shake and be friends and be cordial in this hallway where we could kill each other if we wanted to."
The end of this fifth round, it has more shades of fight of the year, but still not it for me.
And Dricky's is a handsome devil, isn't he?
Yeah. Great hair.
Great ass.
I guess so, yeah. now that I'm looking at it.
Keep throwing that big right overhand.
Just if you only stare at Drickus, you don't see UFC level fighter. I mean,
but also if Sean would have fought like this in the last 10 seconds of the fight for a round or two,
I know
it's over.
That's the most frustrating part about this fight.
Yeah.
Maybe not those overhands, but
not that.
But just come forward. Yeah. Go forward and
put it on him.
Yeah.
I think both of these guys actually like each other, to be honest. Dude.
Oh yeah. I mean, how do you? I mean, I would be shocked if Sean didn't like Drickus. I would not be shocked if Drickus doesn't like Sean.
I think
Sean's hard to like.
I think Drickus still likes him though.
Yeah.
I think, and that goes to show that he's like a cool, nice guy.
All right, so far, it's City, Tavares fight of the year out of these two. All right,
easy.
Moving on.
Oh yeah, I remember this one.
This one was a little more one-sided. This is Daniel Zellhuber versus Francisco Prado. I believe was this Noche UFC or was that last year? I think this was Noche UFC. The whole card that they made about Mexico, except for it was in Vegas.
I absolutely love it when two fighters are going in there who have the same amount of losses. Like both of these guys only lost once, or if they're both undefeated.
24 versus 21 years old.
Yeah, young little kid. They're hungry.
Clem, what do you know about? Do you know either of these guys? Daniel Zellhuber.
Really. I think I've watched a fight of Zellhuber.
Zellhuber, he's good, but Prado, Dylan's a big Prado guy. He's like 21-year-old Argentinian. And Prado he comes in there and wants to bang. Zellhuber's a little more like a technical guy.
Do you guys have a favorite young up-and-coming fighter? Like a young fighter that might be on the prelims that you would tune in to the fight card for?
I mean, Allbergs. I mean, they're not young and upcoming.
I don't know if
but for UFC, it does.
Yeah,
they're new to the UFC. Allbergs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like guys in the UFC.
Yeah, Allberg brothers.
Not really. Allberg's not really that new anymore.
I mean, what are we talking about new? Within the last year or two?
I mean, that's what.
Yeah, maybe someone that's not sure. Yeah, and maybe someone that's not ranked. We'll go with that. Like someone, an unranked, newer-ish fighter, kind of a thing.
I think Carlos Allberg's a pretty good answer for that, but
I think he's like 14 or 15, but yeah, I mean, I definitely like him. Who else?
I mean, if I had
Natalia Silva, I know people don't really like watching girls that much. I love Natalia Silva, but she's ranked 8, so I don't know if you count that.
Yeah.
If somebody gave me like 5 guys, I could tell you, who I think out of those 5. That's kind of a hard one to think about.
Right out in the open, too.
It's a good question.
Give me a second while we watch this. I'm sure I'll come up with something.
I mean, does Bo Nickel count? I mean,
sure.
he's ranked, but
no,
he's not ranked. No, well, he's gonna be.
Yeah,
it's very soon, too soon, probably.
That seems like the casual response.
Yeah, it's definitely the casual answer. I'm just trying to think.
Oh, if that was a nice body shot up into the head. I like that Charlie Campbell a lot.
Yeah,
I do like that guy.
Charlie Campbell.
The guy that dyes his hair like Dylan used to.
Yeah, except for he does it like it's like purple, but not like his hair is weird. It's like he's got a blonde strip, but it's like light purple. It's
almost like the color got fucked up while he was doing it.
Yeah, I do like him though. Did you see his Contender Series fight?
Mm-hmm. I've watched his. I think that's when I started liking him, and I feel like I've watched.
He had Chris Duncan dead.
Yeah,
and then Duncan knocked him out with one punch. It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. It was like Pat Barry, Czech Congo.
Gosh,
one of the craziest fights ever. Still, all these years later.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a hard one to beat.
He's grabbing the top of the fence. Good exit off the fence.
Yeah,
Damn, that was nice.
Pay for it. I like that ref a lot. Beltron.
Yeah.
He's cool.
So up and comers that are fighting at the time of you watching this video, that probably has already happened. But Karine A. Silva, another girl, she's fighting a week from today. I think, except for Google doesn't have it on here anymore. Oh yeah, no, she's fighting Ariane Lipsky. She's really good. She's like 30 years old, but she's had 3 UFC fights. I said this earlier on the preview. She reminds me of Amanda Nunes a lot.
That's a pretty good
Violent.
fighter to remind one of.
Yeah.
You know, I think.
Steven Urseg, he's fighting for the belt, so you definitely can't consider him new, but this will be his like 4th UFC fight.
I know, but that people are shitting on him for that. He's getting getting a champ shot that early, dude.
I'm a big supporter of flyweights, but that definitely is not a good look for the flyweight division.
No, they don't have anything. They just lost one of their biggest draw outside of Moreno.
I mean, I feel like Nicolau or Kopp or...
No, Kopp sucks ass. Fuck him.
I mean, Nicolau, you could give him a shot.
I like Nicolau.
For sure. I'm just looking through the next few cards. I mean, Jonathan Martinez, he's fighting Jose Aldo.
Who?
Aldo's coming back.
Yeah, of course he is. What else are they going to do?
They're making him fight Martinez.
And you know what? He's still going to look good. He doesn't even matter.
I mean, yeah.
That's just
this
the
is
guy,
like the ultimate, like, this is what the UFC does. They say, oh, you want to come out of retirement? Okay, here's a young guy that we want to build off of you.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, we still have you under contract when you get your ass beat.
Yeah.
So that's going to be...
I mean, Aldo, he can do whatever he wants. But
yeah, he can. But I don't know. I feel like Aldo and Rafael dos Anjos are like 2 of a dying Brazilian breed of like old school, legacy fighters.
Oh, that was a nice exit.
One guy that I mentioned earlier, I said on the preview show, I said he was the best 0-2 UFC fighter that's ever lived.
Right.
The guy that fought David Onama last time, his name's Gabriel Santos.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that fight.
I do.
He had Onama hurt bad.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. I don't know if the UFC is going to bring him back or not.
Onama, the shredded black dude. He's got like an 8-pack.
He's a nice guy.
I love Chael so much, dude. It's my boyfriend. I think it's cool him and DC are doing that good guy, bad guy thing.
Yeah, and finally it's not Ryan Clark from the Steelers talking to DC about fighting. I mean, Tatsuro Taira, I'm sure you've heard of him, the Japanese kid. Everyone's balls deep into him. He's probably going to be really good.
But I mean, who is the big...
I mean, he's
up and coming guy that like everybody is like, I mean, outside of Bo Nickel.
Yeah, I mean, Bo Nickel.
It's just really Bo Nickel right now.
I mean, I guess you can't really count Shavkat anymore.
No, I wouldn't say he's new.
I do like that guy.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not really like a huge prospect right now except for Bo Nickel.
And Bo Nickel started MMA 2 years ago.
Yeah, but wasn't his mom or dad a boxer or something like that?
Probably.
So he's been working on his hands. Like everyone just expected him to only be able to wrestle.
100%. And you know how these collegiate wrestler guys go. These kids are throwing hands after wrestling practice.
Yeah.
They're probably anybody from Oklahoma wrestling.
I just thought of another.
Those kids are fighting.
Joshua Van. If Dylan hears this, he's going to be like, yes. Joshua Van out of Myanmar. We talked about him the other day.
Myanmar.
He's like 22 years old. He's a great striker, and he's fighting Sumaderji, who is also a guy I really like. Joshua Van, that's my answer. Up and comer.
Okay, that's cool.
I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, he was supposed to fight a couple weeks ago, and then they got pulled from the card.
Julius Walker's probably my favorite up and comer.
Oh, okay. I didn't even think of him.
Not in the UFC yet, but he's going to be soon.
He's not on my radar yet.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. No, Julius is an athletic freak. When we were walking into your fight,
Julius is something else, man.
He was walking across the street, headed somewhere else, away from the shrine. I was like, "What, Julius? Where's he going?"
Bro, you want to know? I'll tell you exactly where he was going. Actually,
where?
Did you pay attention to his opponent at all?
No, not really. I mean,
did you see the shorts he was wearing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What? They said Team Fusion on him.
No way.
Motherfucker forgot his shorts, so Julius had to go get him some shorts.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
He had to go get his opponent's shorts.
Yeah.
Like, I'll beat your ass in my own shorts.
If you go back and you look at the pictures, yeah, and they say Team Fusion on the shorts, and some of the pictures.
How do you show up to a fight without your fucking shorts?
He said he forgot them.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Oh, you must have forgot to do a training camp too.
How many things do you have to bring?
Yeah, mouth guard and
I always
shorts.
make a list, but yeah, I mean, I take a extra Pedialyte in the bag, kind of a thing.
Right.
Mouth cup.
You're a big Pedialyte guy.
And then like the compression shorts that I wear the cup in, and fight shorts,
Lube,
warm up hoodie. Can't forget the lube, super important.
Strawberry lube.
But I mean, other than that, like, and then you got to think, if I win, I'm going out, so I need to have something to change into.
Yeah.
But
that's like
after my shower. But that's
aside
secondary.
from normal clothes.
Yeah,
what you need in the cage.
Right.
There's 3 things.
No, yeah, you're going to work. Take your work clothes. It's your uniform, dude.
Bro.
So we haven't said much about this, but basically, Francisco Prado's getting touched up, but just coming the fuck forward all the time. Like and that's Zell Huber is like a different type of freak with his chin. Because in this fight, Prado's throwing everything he has at him, big overhands, and Zell Huber just does not give a fuck. Typical Mexican.
He's pretty busted up though.
Typical Chad.
No, I'm talking about Zell Huber.
Oh yeah, but Prado is pretty busted up.
Yeah,
he's been touched.
This is the perfect example of a fight that I wish they wouldn't have done yet.
Yeah,
24 years old versus 20. It's like Cameron Simon and Peyton Talbot.
Yeah, they're fucking Cameron Simon over, and I love Cameron Simon.
Cameron Simon got smashed by another young up and comer, and it's like
dog shit. It's like where was
why?
his Sean O'Malley treatment?
Yeah,
bullshit. This fight doesn't touch the city fight so far.
It's close for me.
No, it's good.
This is definitely more one-sided, but still, Prado's just he's wearing it, but he's still slugging.
Jeez,
I hate that one. Seems like he capitalized on being off balance right there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but that hurt.
I think Zell Huber's he's definitely got the durability to keep him in like fights against really good strikers.
He looks pretty fresh, man.
Yeah, he does.
He just you see that?
Yeah.
Just push the thing away.
I wouldn't like that either.
They were trying to stop it.
Nah, he's fine. Oh. Dang, Prado has a chin.
Yes, he does. Not for long. He's 21 years old and he's fought a bunch, and this is his last fight.
Yeah, well, you know what idiot said that about Gaethje is me, and he's still, which obviously is, can't say that after getting clipped by Max last week, but it took that long to get knocked out. I mean, that guy's been taking crazy damage. I remember being in Phil and Terry's old shop watching Gaethje fight and telling everybody, I was like, this guy's gonna have a short ass career.
I mean, when it comes to durability, it's just like
you're born with it.
It's like a dice roll. I mean, how long will this guy last durability wise? Roll the dice.
Yeah.
You know?
Some of the most notably durable fighters of all time ended up having a glass jaw by the end of it. Like Chuck Liddell. That guy could take a shot from anybody. At the end of it,
and that's another thing. The timeline is different for everybody. Some guys they're done at 36. Some guys are Chuck and they fight at 50.
Some guys start the UFC at 36.
Well, crazy.
Very few guys, but what's up, DC? Or whatever he was.
Yeah, he couldn't have been 36.
He was like
33.
Like he was older.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, Zell Huber he's good, man. He's I mean, unfortunately, he's in like one of the worst weight classes you could be in the UFC.
Lightweight.
I mean,
I'd say the lightweight and welterweight are the two hardest for sure. Probably lightweight though.
lightweight's hard because it's not just like, I feel like you look at featherweight, it's a lot of strikers. Max, Ilya, Arnold Allen.
I think lightweight's the hardest because most men in the planet average around the lightweight class.
Yeah.
So
but I mean,
just more people.
If you just look at the top 15 of lightweight right now, it's like either somebody who can knock your lights out, like Gaethje, Poirier, Chandler, or Connor, or it's Gamrot, Sarukian, Oliveira,
drag you into hell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Benoit Saint Denis.
Right.
I mean, he's like 12 or something.
Or even a fucking
Jalen Turner.
Or
knock your head off.
Or even Benny, man. I mean, Dariush. You know, it's not a guy. Obviously, obviously things have changed, but
yeah,
throughout his career, that's a grueling person to fight.
That's a guy that's a perfect example. We're talking about durability. Who at his best was super durable and would win.
Well,
by outlasting you.
Well, but he would always get hurt or dropped and then come back and then beat you.
Right. But his style, if he's not durable, his style doesn't work.
It sucks.
It's probably why he developed that style.
I love Benny so much. He did me dirty, man.
He's just never been like a great athlete in the sense of like really quick, like.
But I love those kind of guys. I love those guys that just like somehow are hanging in with all these fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah. They didn't do him
more heart.
They didn't do him any favors. I mean, Oliveira and then Sarukian right after getting knocked out by Oliveira.
Oliveira, dick rider.
I do love Charles.
I love him too.
I like him, but
Prado's corner in the background is begging him, push him to the fence.
The only reason I have any shit against Charles is because he's beat up some of my favorite guys.
Yeah,
and that pissed me off.
And this is a 30-27, no doubt.
I think because of that, this isn't fight of the year.
Yeah, it's too.
I've enjoyed this fight more than I enjoyed Strickland, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, me too.
I think for fight of the year, it's got to be like more back and forth.
Yeah,
this is still a great fight, and Prado is just tough as nails.
It's got to be one of those things where you just truly don't know what's going to happen after that final buzzer.
And there's some of these fights in different years. There's been like both guys get dropped twice.
Yeah,
you know.
Oh, it's pretty slick. Wait, so Zelber won this, huh?
Yes.
Oh, he's trying to do the whole Max thing right there. Respect that.
Give him a $300,000 raise.
Yeah, no shit. Max won.
I felt so bad for Prado in this
over
one.
$600,000 he made that night.
That was just in bonuses, right?
Yeah,
that's cool.
So he made well over $1 million.
Yeah, I want to say I read that his show money was $500, so it's probably 5 and 5 plus 600 in. Is that right?
Yeah, he probably made,
so
1.2 million.
1.6.
Yeah, close to, yeah.
And then if he gets any pay-per-views, I would guess closer to 1.7 maybe.
I think title fights get pay-per-view points no matter what. So he, obviously it's a fake belt, but I bet he still got him.
I think Max went home with about $2 million in his pocket that night.
So I think that's number 2 on the list. I think it's still City Tavares as of now.
Yep.
What other guy deserves it more than him, huh?
All right. This is another one. Not big names. It's Jarno Aarons out of the Netherlands and Steven Wynn.
Dude, the amount of wins that have come into my life was surprising. I think everyone in Korea's last name is Wynn. That's like the Smith of Korea. Remember Kai Wynn?
Yeah.
We had a foreign exchange student in Nixa from Korea named Kai Wynn. Short little Korean kid. And he was wild.
We went to school with a brother and sister with the last name Wynn.
Yeah. We had 3 wins in our class.
Wild.
Interesting. When I was like not old enough to drive yet, I'd sit at home all summer and I would just watch the World Series of Poker all day. And there was like 20 wins.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah, of course.
There's one named Ben Wynn.
Yeah.
Ben Wynn.
Well, wasn't Ben Wynn also a fighter?
That's actually what it was.
Ben Wynn's a fighter.
Ben 10
Ben 10.
Wynn. Yeah, he was a flyweight.
Yeah, flyweight.
He was like Korean, but was born in like South Dakota, but lived in Australia, if I remember right.
South Dakota. We go to America and go to one of the worst states.
I think he was born in South Dakota. Wasn't his fault.
Jeez.
Not a lot of Dutch fighters in the UFC anymore.
True.
I mean, I wouldn't even say anymore. I mean, it was like over him. Is the only one I can really, off the top of my head, remember.
Yeah, but it's funny.
Or Struve.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. All the tallest people in the world and all the tallest fighters in the UFC history like ended up not being that good. You know?
Yeah. So Jarno Aarons is from the Netherlands here.
Boss Rutten.
Is that where he's from?
Yeah, from the Netherlands.
Oh, that was crispy.
So this is one that, you know, if whoever is making Fight of the Year lists, like, you know, media websites and or the UFC, this isn't even getting a look.
Yeah.
They're not going to remember this. By the way, I meant to say when these fights happen, but I haven't been doing that.
You're really falling off.
Yeah.
I need to get Manscaped. I need to get that ball trimmer. You know what I'm saying?
No free ads here.
No free ads? Oh, yeah.
I don't need to get that ball trimmer.
Oh, so this was literally March 23rd, the night of your fight.
Oh.
On the Rose Rebus card.
Bill Burr was in my hometown that night.
That was so funny.
I know, dude. I remember telling these guys, we were in a
You
pod,
weren't
and
going.
I was like, I'm gonna troll Clem and just keep pretending like I'm gonna go to this fucking comedy.
But you didn't at first.
No, because I showed you, I was like, look at Clem's comment on my Bill Burr thing because
Yeah.
I was interested, and then I kept doing it on like Facebook
Yeah.
and other things, and he always like put an unhappy face on it or something. Oh, she was hilarious.
I mean, to be fair, Bill Burr this is probably the last time he's going to be in Springfield.
100%.
Sad.
Ever.
I would have
I'm
understood.
shocked he even came at all.
If I wasn't fighting
It
that,
got
I would have
added.
been there.
He got randomly added. He did 2 shows in St. Louis, and then they're like, yeah, well, I'm going to Springfield for the first time. But Bill Burr likes going places he's never been. He's just been everywhere.
Did you ask him that?
Well, he said that to me on the podcast. On
Of
his
course.
podcast. Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast.
All right, Clem, have you noticed anything about it? What anybody's doing here? Pretty close on the feet.
Yeah, I would say it's close. I feel like they're both moving in a lot of just forward and backward angles and cutting angles outside of the pocket instead of exiting in between combinations. So he exited, of course, right as I say it.
Yeah.
But he recentered himself right back in front again. They're going straight forward and straight back instead of exiting out after or mid combination.
I've got Aaron's round 1.
I feel like Aaron's definitely has like good just muscle memory with like slipping and
Until he's done it a million times.
yeah.
Aaron's has had an outside leg kick a couple times right out as he timed the step and kicked his leg off underneath him. It was pretty nice.
Wasn't this Laura Senko's first commentating card?
No.
You sure? Because that was within the last year. It wasn't that
She
long
did
ago.
she did the pay-per-view. Like wasn't it the Sean one?
That was before this.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
She had done the Apex ones before she did a big pay-per-view. And the pay-per-view one might have been
Maybe the pay-per-view is what I'm talking about.
It might have been into last year, I don't remember, but I think it was in Australia.
Ooh.
I think it was Izzy, Sean.
It was.
That was the first pay-per-view she did.
That was her first real commentating gig. I like Laura Senko.
I think
a
she's
lot.
good. I think she's
She
really
is
good.
really
at this.
good. And shout out Missouri girl, dude. It's fucking
Yeah.
badass.
Jamie Varner doesn't like it. You see that?
Yeah, I did see
No.
that.
Jamie Varner was talking shit on her commentary for some reason. Like
Oh.
like recently, like
Well, everybody gets that. Even Rogan and
Yeah.
everybody gets that. DC.
he was saying something along the lines of like, this girl has never fought. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
She has fought.
And then she's literally said, I remember making my pro debut on a card that you were the main event of.
Yeah.
What a dickhead. Why would you say that publicly? Like, it's never gonna go your way. It's not gonna.
Yeah, and he's not even like relevant
Yeah,
anymore.
nobody cares.
It like, I don't know. It would be one thing to be like, I'm in the UFC now, and if I say something, it actually will like mean something.
Right.
But it's like,
oh,
Geez.
jeez.
Publicity.
There's a million former UFC guys that would tweet about something, and it wouldn't really. Nothing's gonna change because of it. And to be fair, nothing would change if anybody in the current UFC said they don't like her commentary either. But
It was a good check.
Maybe it was Sean Strickland. Laura Sanko, you know, she didn't really stay in the kitchen.
guys,
Yeah, you guys. Laura
Sanko's commentary is gay. I haven't watched a ton of Jarno Aarons, but I actually like his style a lot.
Yeah. I felt like he came out kind of reckless early on, but he's really settled down and started to he's finding his punches now in his range.
And his punches are like really he's finishing them.
They're snappy
without like overextending or without like pulling up short on them.
Yeah. I feel like they've got a good pop at the end.
Yeah.
A good whip.
Stephen Wynn, I don't know if Aarons was a Contender Series guy. I know Stephen Wynn was. Aarons may have been also, but I believe Stephen Wynn fought AJ Cunningham on the Contender Series, who...
Oh, word, yeah.
You know him?
I do know him. Yeah, he's from Memphis.
Yeah, no offense to him, but he is a punching bag.
Yeah.
Did you watch
on the regional level, he was not. He looked really good on the regional level.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's a step up. That's important.
I think... I don't remember specifically him versus Wynn, but they brought him in short notice in the UFC against Ludovic Klein. I don't know if you know him. That did not go great.
Yeah. I remember when that went on. We have some mutual friends, so they were sharing stuff when they were headed out there and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, he's there to fight. There's no doubt about it. Cunningham, like he wants to be there.
Yeah.
But this is like an unforgiving sport. If you're like not, if you're like,
I know.
Well, yeah, of all people,
I know, dude.
You know, Austin, this is an unforgiving sport.
The point is that like you could play AA baseball and you're not gonna feel like a piece of shit after you lose a game. You know,
yeah,
you can be able to, like lay in bed normally.
Yeah,
yeah.
The ups and downs are different.
Odds are in a AA baseball game, you're not getting your forehead stitched up in the basement of the fucking shrine.
Right.
They did it in the shrine?
I did it. We did it in the basement.
How many?
6. Yeah. That was not bad. It was pretty, yeah. Kind of like Harry fucking Potter now. They're pretty far stitched apart.
Really that won't be very noticeable.
It was bad. It healed faster than I thought it would.
Scars are cool. I wish I had more.
I have a lot.
Do you?
Yeah. Not from fighting.
Why do you have so many scars?
Dude, I've broken so many bones. It's not even funny.
Really?
Oh, are you kidding me? I broke my first bone when I was 3 years old.
I fractured a handful of bones, but the only bone I've ever actually broke was my toe.
I broke my same bone, my radius bone on my left arm in football. 2 different years. Broke my collarbone. It still sticks out. Broken every toe, every finger. Broke my foot twice. Shoulder. Definitely cracked a rib. Thanks to you, you fuckhead.
Seems more like someone else did that.
Well, it was remember that kid? He was boxing. He was all yoked up, but he was this kind of like real simpleton. Remember that?
Oh, we've had a handful. That was nice.
I think this is better than the first one we watched.
Yeah, I could.
Oh.
This is like push-pull. The first one was like one guy go forward the whole time. This is like back, forth.
The way that Aaron's has so quickly found his range and his striking, like he's connecting a lot, I feel like.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder if when in the beginning when I was assuming when I said he was like more reckless and he was missing his shots and coming in too much, maybe he expected something different from Win. Like maybe he was expecting a different game plan. He had to adapt on the fly to that. Because he's finding them now. He's accurate. Even coming in like on that nice hitch step, he's cooking right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he did that. It seemed like he started to find it about 3 minutes in or so to round 1, and then round 2, he just tore it up.
I mean, he's kind of like hop stepping into range more.
Yeah.
Here. Aaron's is nasty. I guess I don't really know much about him, but he's like chopping the low kick.
It's that
Straight,
I like him.
straight punches.
Shaq.
I think
I'm
he's
sorry, I wasn't
winning
familiar
this.
with your game.
Shaq.
Is that who said that?
That sounds right.
I was unfamiliar with
You
your
want to
game.
get your win here, he says.
I mean, just crushing the low kick, straight punches. That's what I want in a fighter: low kicks and straight punches, takedown defense.
And you don't like Drickus.
What? You would not say that Drickus
That's all he did to Sean.
straight punches?
Well, no, more of the.
You and I watched a different fight.
It was a combo of kicks and punches like that.
I felt like he threw a lot of looping punches.
And Drickus
He definitely did.
Drickus throws straight punches, but it's like he walks.
Jeez.
Yeah,
He walks
it's like
like this.
Terminators. Yeah.
Oh,
Hey.
man, way to fight up to your feet and keep circling out. That was nice.
Well, I don't know why he pulled that guillotine.
Yeah, do either of these guys grapple at all? Like I've yet to see. I mean, Aaron's went to butterfly there, worked it to get back up to his feet.
Mm. That was a
But do we know if either one of them are ranked or anything in jiu-jitsu?
I don't know that.
Ah, okay.
They're not ranked in the UFC. I know that, but
I'd be surprised if they're anything less than a purple.
I mean, he's from the Netherlands, but he may train maybe at Kill Cliff.
Dude, see, he cracked him right there.
Yeah, he did. And he ate two
He's
more.
out on, he's out on his feet right there. Don't body lock him.
Darn!
It
Yeah.
went bang, bang. Don't body lock.
Just
He
ate
should have stayed
those.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he should have.
Dude, he was out on. He'd be out on his feet.
Yeah, why go to the wrestling there?
I don't know. People do that all the time.
I mean,
and
I
don't
guess
understand
he
that.
probably thinks he's ahead, maybe.
Get the easy takedown kind of a thing that refs or judges really seem to score
Do you
that
think
well.
Do you think that maybe it's like he threw a shot and it connected so well, and he thought that maybe it'd put him out, and he sees that they're not put out, and they're still coming forward. That they're like, oh well, fuck, I gotta do a
Maybe,
desperation shot.
But I didn't feel like Wynn was coming forward. I felt like he was
Well, yeah.
standing there like.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, I see what you're saying. Maybe his momentum was going so far forward already. He felt like he needed to drop the gap close faster than he thought.
Okay, so Aaron's trains at Team Thriving Training Center, which is in the Netherlands. For some reason I was thinking he was maybe like a Kill Cliff guy or something, but yeah,
shit.
Heerlen, the Netherlands.
Wonder who trains there with him.
I
Wynn's
wish
coming forward now.
I wish Tapology would say talk about belts and stuff like that. Jiu-jitsu belts.
Even if it was up at the top in that information. Where it says height, reach, belt.
Okay, so it actually does say who trains there, but I've never heard of any of these guys.
Oh.
I don't know. I like him though. I don't remember watching this fight.
That was another good one.
Just
The timing
chop
of the step. Yeah.
Chopping that low kick. Steven Wynn's a freak. I mean, he's just walking forward. Oh, uppercut, left hook.
Man, this is one of those fights that should have happened on a big card.
Yeah.
Like with the crowd behind this could have been.
That's what I hate about
Yeah.
the Apex, dude.
I'm not a fan of the Apex. It did its job when we needed it to do its job, and it was like the greatest thing on earth. now we're past that anymore. Let's have
It's
real
not
venues.
good for viewers at home, but man, I'd love to be in that motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also the crowd hype
It's fun.
live is
It's-
good
Yeah.
too.
It's fun. Never know when you're going to see an extra bonus fight in between during the commercial round, you know, in the
Right.
crowd.
Yeah.
We saw fights in Arizona.
I believe that.
when we were there.
This is my fight of the year contender so far right here.
What? This is it?
I like
Out
that.
of the 4 we've seen.
Definitely this one and the first one.
The first one, like I said, was one guy going backwards the whole time.
Yeah. Sure.
These guys are slugging.
I feel like aside from that one Aaron's drop, the fight was pretty one-sided for Aaron's, aside from him getting dropped that one time.
I
Yeah.
agree. That's what I think.
The thing is,
But he was firing back. He was firing back more than Tavares. Tavares was more destructive when he fired back, though.
and also didn't get hit as much as either of these guys.
Right. Right.
So far, all of the decisions by the judges, I pretty much agree with on all of these fights.
Yeah, the first one I think City should have won it.
Yeah. Besides that.
Yeah. All right, two more.
Oh, this fucking one. All right.
This is a weird one for me because at the time watching it, I was like, I didn't think of like, oh my god, this is crazy. But I've seen a lot of people talk about fight of the year after this. This is Brendan Allen, Chris Curtis 2 from like what 2 weeks ago.
Yep. I like Brandon.
Good
Allen.
fight, like close fight. I'm interested to see. I picked Chris Curtis. I was rooting for Chris Curtis, and at the time, I thought he should have won. But I'm interested to see the fight back.
Right.
I feel like you guys were less on Brandon Allen's side for this fight than I was.
Chad was on your side.
Yeah, Chad was.
Yeah. Chris, he's had some like stinkers before this where he just kind of doesn't really do enough. I feel like he put more volume on Brendan Allen in this fight than he has even in 3-round fights previous to this.
I think Chris Curtis is a forgettable fighter.
He's ranked. Like
I know, but
compared to
Shit, what up?
the 2 we watched before, he's much more memorable because he's a ranked fighter. He knocked out Buckley. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. His career as a whole is he's no Hall of Famer or anything like that.
no. Well, what percent of MMA fighters are that though?
A pretty big one actually. Compared to like
Percent of MMA fighters?
the number of guys who are just in MMA as a whole. I mean, there's only 500-600 guys at a time in MMA
In the UFC.
in the UFC. I mean,
I was to say,
that's what I meant.
you sound like a guy that I train UFC right now.
I train
No.
UFC.
I meant to say UFC.
I don't know. I think the big problem with the sport is how much people forget about people when they lose or
Yeah.
retire.
No, I agree. I'm just saying the fact that the amount of people that can go down as legends and go into the Hall of Fame that never even held the belt is higher than any other sport. You know what I mean?
I don't.
So, like, you think there's
a
a
team
bunch-
that
you
doesn't
think
win a
there's-
Super Bowl? There's players from that team that go to the Hall
Well,
of Fame.
football's different. Football's different.
I mean, there's a lot of players in other sports that go to the Hall of Fame. That
I know, but
didn't.
we're also talking about team sports versus one man.
Yeah, I don't know.
His nipple just
I mean,
bothers
the Hall of
shit out
Fame this year was what? Jens Pulver, Aldo.
of me. Jens never got the belt.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Yeah.
He didn't hold it long, did he?
No, they got rid of the weight class, I think, after he won it.
I don't know.
It's just, it's hard. It's harder to win the championship in this sport than any other sport. There's just you can sit on the bench in other sports and win.
Right.
Could be a backup kicker for
Yeah.
Chiefs. Good ring.
I think when Chris Curtis is on, he's fun to watch because he's got kind of like Tavares that we watched earlier. He's got that real traditional boxing style.
Allen is a thick boy. Will you grab mine? Oh, okay.
And Brendan Allen, leading up to this, I think he had 4 submission wins in a row.
Jeez.
All rear naked chokes.
I like Brendan Allen, dude.
I do too. But the fact that he had, I'm kind of burying the lead here, but the fact that he had Chris Curtis's back like 3-4 times in this fight,
right,
is pretty interesting because I'm pretty sure he had 4 rear naked chokes in a row before this.
That was a nice exit to not allow yourself to stay square with him there on the fence.
I like Brendan Allen's post-fight interview too. Just like addressing all the people talking shit about him, essentially. All the other fighters, like, all right, come get some. It's like we don't have to set up a fight for UFC. Like if you want to come get some, come see me. It's like, all right, word.
Well, and that's Brendan Allen. He's kind of turned a corner because I think he had a couple not great losses early in his UFC career.
Yeah, there's been a lot of guys. I mean, Charles Oliveira did that.
Oh yeah.
Kamaru Usman lost his first fucking UFC fight, didn't he? Or was it just...
I think the first pro fight.
Yeah, pro fight. It's pretty common, actually.
Okay, so Brendan Allen lost to Chris Curtis in 2021, Sean in 2020.
I feel like if I'm not to cut you off there, I just saw that it's happened a few times now. If I'm Brendan Allen, every time Curtis Blades is stepping to the left, a lot of times he's crossing his feet with that front foot crossing over the line.
Instead of...
Yeah. Dude, you got to throw something on that. He's out of balance. You can throw an exit before he gets something off. He's got to readjust his feet before he can throw. That's at least 2 free shots.
I remember Eric, like in day one kind of stuff, he'd be like, you got to pretend like there's a rod going through the middle of your body and between your legs and not cross that rod.
Yeah, but watch when he circles, he's crossing that right leg. He's stepping with that first, so he's crossing his legs. Now he's not going to do it now. I'm talking about it.
That's one of those things.
Like he's stepping too deep there. When he does, you got to slip and throw.
He's really bladed all the time.
Yeah.
He's always got like a super bladed stance.
I feel like that's one of those common first day like fundamentals and striking and movement in MMA to where it's just like it goes against what your body wants to do that you have to train yourself to.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like I remember it being awkward for me to not like want to automatically cross my legs.
Because you're thinking walking.
Well, you're thinking don't get punched in the face.
Sure.
And you're just moving your legs.
You're just working your stance and you're like, you cross your legs when you walk.
Right.
But when you see him take that step, you got to throw before he readjusts and you can exit back out. It may just be a 2-piece depending on how he responds, but it's 2 free pieces.
Right.
I mean, I think in Chris Curtis's case, like he's so he fights so heavily in like a boxing style.
Yeah.
That's why he does it.
Sure.
It's because he's fucking Sean Strickland's punching bag all day, every day.
See, I'm still not buying that at all.
And there's a shitload of film on it.
Of him just getting his ass kicked in sparring by Sean Strickland?
Well, I wouldn't say ass kicked, but he's getting beat up. Yeah, I mean, he's losing the exchanges. He even says this in the post-fight interview. He's like, yeah, I mean, I get my ass whooped all day, every day by Sean. Every day, I might as well fight him for real money in the UFC. I'd fight him immediately. He called out his own training partner and his good friend.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone's going to big up their training partner and say, oh, I get my ass kicked by this guy every day.
Maybe, but like I wouldn't do that if it's a detriment to my career and the way I look in the cage. I mean, I think he's just a really honest guy, you know?
I mean, yeah.
That was nice.
I feel like I feel like if I'm a fly on the wall at Extreme Couture when they're sparring, I bet it's pretty back and forth.
I bet it's competitive, but I mean, I'm taking Sean all day versus Chris Curtis.
Yeah.
He sniped that one through. That was nice.
I mean, Chris is a very well-schooled boxer. There's just no way around it.
For sure. But I think a lot of that is because of who he has to box every day.
Sure.
Yeah. He didn't lean back fucking Sean Strickland style. I know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally, I think
He's a lot
if
shorter than
it's
Sean.
like boxing for boxing, like you take an old head in boxing fundamentals, Chris Curtis is better. That doesn't necessarily mean he wins if he fights Sean or spars Sean or whatever, but fundamentally, I think he's a better boxer than Sean. Sean does this. This is Sean's defense.
True.
Well, it's that what do they call it? The Philly
shell.
Philly shell.
Yeah.
But he's got his own version of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like throw your arm out here like this. It's the trailer park shell.
You should say that to him when you're throwing punches at him.
I'll say it. As long as someone's filming it.
Here's Sean. I really, really miss sparring, man. I miss kickboxing. I miss putting on gloves and just going 50%.
I don't miss
working through
sparring.
shit.
I just miss hitting Thai pads.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked sparring. I thought it was fun, man. I liked being a little bit scared.
I just miss the sound of me kicking the Thai pad.
That
And
nice pop.
Yeah. Actually, I miss
John's good at holding pads.
I
by
miss
the way.
holding him. As I say, I miss holding
John's
Thai
really
pads.
good at holding pads.
Oh, that's cool.
Well,
Like, you
but
would-
you're a fucking southpaw, so
I fuck
Yeah,
everybody.
but you would figure it out and you'd pick up
man,
on it.
maybe.
You held pads for all of us for a long time, just fucking around in here.
I like holding Thai pads.
I mean, you and Dylan had a nice little session one day. I remember.
We're still going to come back to the gym.
We've been trying, dude. We've been trying
He's-
to talk him into going back into get into a jiu-jitsu tournament, and we'll film it all and all that shit.
He's had a handful of discussions with me about it.
Oh, I know. He won't. He's
I know.
he's over it.
so who's
soft,
winning?
Dylan.
Who's winning, Clem?
Allen's winning.
Really?
I think so. Curtis is winning the. He's just getting beaten up more. For every
agree.
one he lands, he's eating 3.
I agree.
He's
I said that when this fight was happening.
He's controlling the center of the cage, but that's the last thing I'm going to look at in a scoring event. I feel like Allen is getting the better of the exchanges. He's doing more damage. He's initiating more, even though he's on his heels a little bit.
He just seems to be holding the momentum one way or another.
Yeah.
I thought I just remember thinking I was rooting for Chris Curtis. I thought he won, but
Not me.
that doesn't. But you're rooting for Brendan Allen.
I know, but I'm not a big enough fan of either of these guys to be biased or persuaded.
That was nice. Bang. That was beautiful.
I love Bisping. Did you guys see that video he just put out like a couple days ago to where he's at the eye doctor and he like takes his fake eye out and he's like showing you the whole process of what he has to do, and then they put in like he put in this like white mold because they're making him a new mold for his new eye, and it hasn't been painted yet or looking like an eye, and he's just got like a white mold in his eye and he looks like a Tekken character.
Wow, I did not see that.
Dude's a monster.
So the fan vote on MMA decisions: 98.6% Allen in the first round, 91.2% Curtis in the second round.
A bunch of idiots, huh?
I guess.
I guess we're going to find out here. I was going to say I didn't know. 19 after 2. There you go.
Yeah, no, it's a close fight. That was off the best rounds of the year.
Idiot.
Okay, Jamal.
Jamal, just reread what you type before you send it.
Yeah, I don't understand people that do that. I always proofread my shit,
Yeah.
especially if it's gonna be on national TV. What the fuck? You know he's still in his shit. He's probably like spitting bars with his homies. Dude's a pretty good freestyler.
Yeah, he's a good rapper.
Oh, that was gross.
Yeah. Chris has got a giant head.
He really does, dude. He's kind of got a caveman build to him, you know, like Rogan.
Oh.
Oh.
Chris, he does this too much. He does like the put his lead or his rear shoulder in front and touch with the 2
Yeah.
instead of throwing a 2.
Right.
He does that too much. Right there.
Yeah.
Like that. There's nothing behind that. If he just threw like a
Wasn't that just a setup?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like he's baiting that 'cause
yeah.
he's gonna try to throw a hook or a 5 off.
Exactly.
probably, but when he
doesn't.
when he hurts people on the feet, it's normally like a left hook or a
Right.
right hook instead of like just a nice 2 down the pipe.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I mean,
He's
obviously,
definitely doing that as a bait.
I just would like to see him throw a couple more, just real 2s, like
Yeah.
straight down the pipe, 1, 2. Great camera work right there, like right in his face.
Yeah, it was a nice shot. That guy's got a boner filming that. I really, for a solid year straight, I thought that I was going to do whatever I could to become a camera guy for the UFC. And it'd be so fucking sick.
That'd be cool.
It would be a really cool job.
I wouldn't hate living in Vegas.
Yeah, but you're also traveling the goddamn world all the time.
Yeah.
You aren't living anywhere, really. Hotel rooms.
Well, nowadays, I mean, it's like 3/4 of the events are in Vegas.
Yeah.
I'd go to the Apex every day.
This would have been 2017 when I was like strongly considering that.
Ooh.
Like I went to UFC careers and everything and figured out like what you had to have.
He cocked him up.
Oh shit. Oh.
Oh my goodness. Brendan Allen's a Louisiana boy, right?
Yeah.
Scrappy
Wow.
down there, man.
Yeah. Took his back again.
I wonder how many people he fucked up at like Mardi Gras, you know, in his life. Dude, I saw so many fights when I was in Mardi Gras. I pulled Wes Hunter away from almost getting in a crazy fight with this one guy.
So is this fight of the year contender?
No.
No, I don't like this
I don't
as
think
much as the first or the 4th fight.
See, and that's
Correct.
the thing. It's going to be fight of the year. Everyone's going to pick some like ranked fight, but the two out of the 4 we've watched, or 2 out of the 5
Right.
that we
Yeah.
like the best,
Those were 2
are
finds.
prelims.
I think Aaron's and Win is my current favorite, but
Me too.
City Tavares is very close for me.
Same.
Yeah.
Very
I
close.
think we're all on the exact same page.
Strickland Duplessis is my least favorite so far.
Yep.
I think when you do videos like this and there's a very clear objective of what we're looking for, it's going to be it's not going to be controversial between
Yeah.
us.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, some people will consider Max and Gaethje fight of the year, or
I don't.
just
but
because of how big the moment was.
It's
Right.
definitely, but even without the moment, it's still kind of up there because it was just.
It was exciting. Even though he was losing the rounds, he was making it exciting the whole time.
It wasn't like he
get
was
it.
just getting his ass whooped. I
Right.
mean, he was still in there the whole time. He was just losing.
For me, fight of the year is like Gaethje Chandler,
That's
like just back and forth, crazy drop
Yeah.
Great
people.
No, I agree.
Yeah, right here, man. He's fighting the hands nice. You guys start trying to choke his face like Khabib did Connor. Yeah. Go to that hand-to-hand choke behind the back and just rip his jaw off. Oh.
But the thing about Khabib and Dagestani wrestling, they shut down your entire half of your lower body before you can even move before they do that to you.
Yeah.
So 69.9% of fans had that for Curtis.
The 3rd round?
That round's tough. He hurt him on the feet,
I think it's probably 2-1 Allen.
I agree.
but it's also like the judges are big on damage nowadays.
True.
Well, that's probably because they got so much heat for so many years. Just like the fucking Dan Henderson, Michael Bisping 2. Dan Henderson won that fight, bro. Dylan doesn't.
Dylan doesn't know fighting.
Dylan lets his passion and his bias overbear everything he sees.
That's about right.
I get it, though.
Shout
I
out
get it.
D-Wed 33.
I get it. Yeah, you Eureka Springs idiot.
Is that where he's at?
Yeah.
Dingus. Oh,
Don't harm.
Mark
Blue Angels.
definitely did not see that.
Yeah, he saw Brennan react to it.
I think it would have been his right pinky or ring finger.
Yeah.
It's on the cross back by.
Bang. Boom. Yeah.
People think you get poked in the eye and it's just like, oh, it sucks because your eye's watering and whatever. But no, it's like debilitating. It hurts a lot. It hurts a lot. It's it's a different kind of pain.
Like I was saying earlier, there's just no way. I mean, there's just no way to completely take it out of the sport.
No, it'll always accidentally happen, but you can, make a lot less of it with different gloves. Which they did get. Did you see the new gloves they got?
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys actually if you knew what the big changes to the gloves were. Like, what makes them so different?
I do.
Oh, shit.
The wrist, they added a new leather padding to where they call it an impact zone.
Okay.
So when you punch, you're way less likely to break your hand.
Okay.
And your wrist. And then they did add more padding in the knuckles to where it curves your fingers in more. But
I think that's going to be worse. I think you got to give them more freedom to roll their hand up.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do it either way.
It's more constricting, but it's also like...
Right. Oh, that was nice.
Padding, more safety.
You think more freedom will help?
I do. I think people are going to try to reach up to frame anyways. So you got it. Yeah. So now their fingers are going to be rolled forward like they have carpal tunnel. It's going to make it worse.
I mean, but a lot of these are, unless you're talking about Chris Weidman, a lot of these are like pushing out and scraping down.
True.
Anyways.
And it's not like this, like John Jones. Like
John
right.
Jones is this.
I mean, Weidman threw like a 1-2 eye poke combination. That's different.
6 or 7 times.
The double finger.
I can't stand fucking Weidman.
But also, I mean, if they're making their hands curve like that, it's going to affect grappling.
But that's the thing. That's the problem with, like, that's why I kind of like UFC with these new gloves. They kind of took the Trevor Whitman's idea, but it was less so because Trevor Whitman's you can't put your fingers out,
right.
So therefore it's going to affect your grappling.
Yeah.
Oh. From what I've seen in this, I'm a little less. Like, I feel like it's a little less shitty decision as of this point.
I think it almost always is the second time you rewatch a fight.
I mean, although the fan vote had it 2-1 Curtis before this round.
I just disagree with that.
I do too.
74% had Allen in this round.
I feel like the fan vote's going to be a lot of people who are voting with their heart, not what they actually watched.
Of course. Brain.
Yeah.
I try to be super conscious of that when I'm watching.
Oh, that was nice. What a good takedown. Oh. Got excited there like I didn't know it was going to a decision.
Well, since you know that, Michael Bell, the one judge that scored it, or do you know who wins? You know who wins, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The one judge that scored it for Chris Curtis had it 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. 4th, Chris Curtis.
Hot take. Hot take, Mr. Bell.
I agree.
Derek Cleary, 2nd and 3rd for Curtis. The rest for Allen. I feel like that's probably about right. And then, so you agree with Eric Colon? Literally just the 2nd for Chris Curtis. I mean, up to this point.
I can see that.
Where I'm at. It's where I was at when we watched it live.
I mean, Chris dropped him in the 3rd, and Brendan held on to him on his back, standing, and then let go of it.
Fair. Dude, the last few years, every time I watch a fight, like live as it's going on, I kind of try to put myself in what I think the judges are thinking about rather than what I think I just saw.
Yeah, but there's no way to know
There's not
what they're thinking.
But watching for years, like you find a pattern where it's like, well, I bet they thought that moment was way bigger than that other moment, kind of thing, you know?
So obviously, the UFC is going to put the tweets up that make the fight seem more interesting, but they did put a 38-38 tweet up there.
Remember when it was just like mostly Steve-O?
Yeah.
Or somebody like that.
Billy Q. I believed in you at one point, Billy. Oh. Steve Mazzagatti is cage side at like most UFC events still. You know, the ref that Dana hated.
Yeah.
He's still there all the time, but right there. He doesn't ref anything, but he's cage side at all these, at least in Nevada.
He might be like on the director or something like that within the like referee sanctions or whatnot.
It's just weird. It's kind of weird to me that the UFC hasn't like gotten so big that they just can do the refs and the judges themselves.
Yeah.
Like what? Why could like I know you got to be sanctioned by a commission, but what would happen if they didn't do that?
Right.
If they just had
I don't know.
You know, like is there like a law? I guess there probably is a law. If you're going to do like an athletic competition, you got to be sanctioned by a commission. But
yeah,
I feel like the UFC is so big. It's like
you would think.
What are you going to arrest
I'd never
everybody? You know, like
yeah. Curtis is winning this round for sure.
But I've said this for quite a while. I feel like the UFC, they're gonna, if the judges fuck up decisions, that does nothing but help the UFC, because the UFC doesn't care about specific fighters anyways, and all the shitty decisions do is make people talk about the UFC.
Fair.
Right.
That's a really fair argument.
So they're never gonna like really. They're gonna say, "Oh, that was a terrible decision. I'm Dana White. That decision sucked."
Yeah.
But they're never gonna like really do anything about it, because all people talk about for the next week is that decision.
It's a business, baby. That I do worry about. I do worry about the future of MMA turning into what boxing is now.
Yeah,
that scares the shit out of me.
The last little while, like I'll say, I don't know, maybe like year or two, has given me hope, because I feel like we haven't seen as many terrible decisions.
Yeah.
True. I mean, not off the top of my head, I can't think of as many.
You know, because the thing is like the fighters themselves are also hyper aware that they don't want to be a part of one of those fights.
Right.
You know.
So if it is 2-2, this is an Allen round, right?
Yes.
If it even was 2-2 to begin with.
Correct. Which
You're
I don't
giving
think
this
was.
round to Allen?
I mean, yeah, he controls him for the last minute of the fight.
I mean, I haven't been watching it like as closely as I should be.
Man,
but
no, I'm thinking Curtis won this round. I'm almost giving Curtis 2 and 5.
We still got a minute.
Okay, so
yeah, but he's been on top of him for an accumulative 2 minutes. So are we gonna end?
So 4 was Allen.
Yeah.
1, 3, 4 was Allen.
Yeah.
2 and 5 Curtis.
That's how I think I would view that.
Well, also
he's got him a full body lock.
Watch the very end of this round.
Okay,
because this gets interesting here.
Nice little reversal there, and he doesn't capitalize. Probably
really quick.
Oh my gosh!
How important are like optics to the judge? Like
last minute takedowns?
No, like you look like you're hurt or you don't.
I think they're bigger than they should be.
Because look at Allen. Look at Curtis.
Yeah.
He's fucked up.
He like blew his calf muscle or something, like pulled a muscle in his leg.
Yeah, but he did that because he was getting beat up by Brendan Allen.
No.
Curtis should have won this fight.
Look,
I bet that fucked him right
His
there.
fight or that round?
Or that's that round.
That's what I'm saying. He hurt.
good
He
save.
pulled his hamstring or something right there.
Yeah, he pulled his hamstring. Yeah, his hammy's blown out.
And that's why I was asking about optics, because right there at the end, he's like wincing and
Yeah.
I know, but
stumbling.
it's also at the last bit of the last round.
I'm just saying in general, like
right.
looking hurt versus not looking hurt.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know.
That, I think, is what stole Allen the round.
And that's what John Anik and Ken Flo on the Anik and Florian podcast, no free ads here, but that's what they said.
Don't watch that podcast. Watch ours.
That's what they thought stole the fight for him, was the end of that round right there.
Okay.
How many more fights do we have?
One.
Okay.
I mean,
Seth, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, especially in a round where you're like, oh shit, like maybe Curtis did control him for 2 minutes, but then the final minute and a half, Allen had it. You're going to look back and all right, so what was the most memorable part of that round, kind of a thing? Like, what am I going to remember from that round? And you're going to look back and think, I remember Curtis leaning against the fence, borderline in tears with a ripped hamstring or whatever it was that you said.
More than likely, you're going to remember the end, but not only the end, but the end where he is wincing and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, everyone's got like a "what have you done for me lately" bias, no matter what. But then when you're like holding your leg and wincing and shit,
holding your leg, like that was the exclamation point on the round.
Right.
That was the piece.
So even if it was 2-2 going in that round, which you said you don't think it was, that probably was what stole it for Allen.
Makes sense.
All right, last one.
It's a fun one.
This is, I said earlier, I don't think there's very many finishes that should be considered, but I think this is like the one that sticks out, and it's Yuri Prohaska versus Alexander Rakic, because they hit each other with big shit.
Love it.
And me and Chad agree on the fact that we don't think Alexander Rakic really loses any stock at all.
Okay.
He hadn't fought in a year and 10 months leading up to this. And Rakic literally fought Pereira like November leading up to this. So I also said that if anybody else on the planet got hit with what Yuri got hit with in this fight, they wouldn't have been able to finish.
Because Yuri's the only monk in the UFC. So.
He said he's not a samurai. He wanted everyone to know that.
No, he was letting everyone know he is a samurai, just not in that way. I like Yuri a lot. It's an interesting fuck. And all of his kickboxing fights before UFC are impressive, man. Some big bastards in there. How'd you like standing across the cage from Yuri there, Clem?
I hate it.
Oh, man.
It'd be like standing across from Julius. Shout out Julius again.
No, I'd be way scarier than that.
But size-wise,
yeah, it's about the same, isn't it?
Julius is huge.
What is he, 6'3"?
Very similar style.
He claims 6'4". I think he's closer to 6'5".
Oh, so John Jones then.
They fight the same way.
Like 84-inch reach or something.
John
like
Jones is 6'5" and claims 6'4", and he's got an 84-inch
Is
reach.
Julius John Jones?
Does he actually have an 84-inch
Have
reach?
you ever seen them in the same room together? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Are you talking about Julius?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went into the gym. Remember when I went into the gym?
Oh,
And my phone was fucked up?
No, I was talking about John Jones.
Oh,
and
yeah,
Julius.
yeah.
They look nothing alike.
Yeah, Julius might actually beat John Jones, dude.
In 10 years from now.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Probably not.
Maybe.
Probably not.
I hope so.
We talked about a guy earlier that...
Talk about John Jones, though.
We talked about a guy earlier that I was like, I don't like that he keeps his hands down so much, because like Bobby Green, hands down, but gets hit very little.
Alex Pereira, hands down, gets hit very little.
Well, Yeah, I don't know.
Get hit that much.
Pereira doesn't move his head. He just hits you before you.
But his hands are always down.
Yeah, but Yuri is like the exception to the rule. Hands down, gets hit a lot, doesn't care.
Yeah.
And
you like that about him?
I mean, I like him.
But you like that about him?
Not that specifically.
I was gonna say,
no.
but you don't like Max because of that.
No, but Max didn't. He doesn't even keep his hands down.
Yeah.
Max he
just
tries
brawls.
to defend himself,
He just brawls.
and he still gets hit a lot. Yuri's just a freak.
Yeah, he's a psychopath.
Oh,
But I love it when they were like, "Hey, man, so when you're out there being a samurai at like 4 a.m. in the rain, and you're like meditating, and fans come up to you, are you mad that fans come up to you to bother you?" He goes, "No, not at all." He's like, "Listen, you come talk to you can talk to me." He's like,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Yeah, but you're really scary." And he's like, "Yes, I understand, but I'm nice guy. I'm nice guy. You can talk to me." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's go,
And that-
Yuri, dude. That's
That's
cool."
what I've always liked about him is I feel like
yeah.
He's rad.
he's like intimidating, but
But he
and
knows
like
it.
weird.
He knows he is though.
Well, but he's also like an actual like
He's a human being.
decent guy.
Yeah. I would totally have a beer with that motherfucker and not feel scared. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh,
There's plenty of guys in the UFC that I would probably be like, I'm a little worried about being around you right now, but
Yeah.
and then there's guys that I'm not worried about at all. Like
man, Yuri is eating
Like
some
Zach,
shots
I
here.
know.
after your fight that night, me and Zach Cummings got hammered together.
Did you really?
I bought him like 3 Irish car bombs. We got shit faced in billiards.
I love Zach.
He's a good guy. He's fun. Sitting there talking
See-
to him and his mom the whole time. And what's his face? Greg?
Chris Gregory.
Chris Gregory. They were a fun hang, man.
See, Yuri's already he already should have been knocked out once or twice.
Yeah,
I mean,
most guys would have been.
yeah.
Zach gave me his number and said he would do our podcast.
Oh, cool.
I was like, fuck, you should be here for that.
That's cool. Yeah. Oh,
Shit.
I want to see that combination from the side profile instead of behind you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you actually trained with Zach? Like train?
Yeah.
How hard does he go in the gym? Does he like keep it pretty chill?
I mean, I think when he's out at Factory X, just eating them.
yeah.
I think when he's out at Factory X, I mean, I'm sure he's going with guys much harder when he's getting ready for his fight than he is beating up me.
Well, I'm talking about a retired Zach Cummings right now. Like,
He's fought since I've trained with him.
So
I was
he
going
won't-
on train up with him a lot at one point up in his gym during my camps. And, I mean, he is probably going 50%. Like, he wasn't trying to kill me or anything like
but
that.
he's like a productive training partner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
of course he is.
I'd get the occasional combination where he'd crank one up, but then he'd go back. He wasn't trying to hurt me. He was just,
It's so cool to like hang out with a guy like that and stand face to face with him and be like, man, you're like, obviously you're bigger than me, and obviously, you'd kill me. But it's like you would think that like a guy who has reached one of the baddest men on the planet collectively, whatever, top few hundred best guys in the world.
yeah.
You put him on a pedestal and you think that they're just some big giant
Right.
crazy scary person.
Yeah.
And he's not.
Absolutely.
He's not that much taller than me.
Yeah, I'd say he's close to 6.
Yeah.
Something like that. 6'1",
I
maybe.
think he's
I think he's
6
6 feet.
6'1", 6'1".
Yeah. It's just crazy that he's never been knocked out.
Yeah, he's fucking. You know what he says?
It's the underbite.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
exactly. He claims the underbite. There's got to be something to that.
Yeah, I could see if somebody the exclamation point I feel like came from Yuri, so I wouldn't be shocked to see if some people gave it to him. But I think overall, is it
Rakic.
Rakic?
It doesn't go to the judges.
I got you.
Hey, but also when I asked him, I was like, okay, I'll ask you the hard questions. Have you ever been knocked out? Period in your life? He said yes.
No, he said no, but he said the hardest he's been hit was by some Kansas City heavyweight guy.
And he
Cannot remember his name now.
I asked
but
him, so he said he hadn't been knocked out because I thought
no.
because I remember
I thought
I
he said no.
I think you said the hardest. What is the hardest you've been hit then?
no, I did ask him that, but I asked him like, I know you've never been knocked out.
He was like no.
okay.
He was like a local guy, heavyweight dude that
He was older though.
Yeah, like he was gonna come back though.
Yeah,
but he's like, I think he's an older dude.
Oh, see, I heard him. Oh my gosh,
it's just crazy. Like, I'm a Rakic believer. I still am because I feel like if Jamal Hill gets hit with this shit,
yeah,
Jamal Hill's sleeping.
Howdy.
Yeah,
night.
Even Pereira's been knocked out by Izzy.
Yeah,
I think Pereira gets hit with the same exact things that Yuri has.
But Pereira and Izzy have shared a cage for a lot of time.
Ring.
Oh,
ring and cage.
Oh my god.
And Izzy's a fucking psycho.
I mean, side note, Yuri and Pereira was an early stoppage. It's just
100%, and I want to see that fight again.
There's no
and
way
I still
around
think
that.
that Yuri can beat him.
Didn't Yuri say it was a good stoppage?
Well,
it did. It was. Do you remember what? Like,
I do
do you
kind of
remember specifically?
He was like in turtle or on a shot or something.
He
when it
got
happened, right?
dropped to his back, and then he was like grabbing him, and then Mark Goddard. I think it was Mark Goddard stopped him.
But could you name a worse opponent to come back to after a long layoff than Alex Pereira?
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
I mean, Yuri, maybe.
Yeah.
If
So is Yuri
you're
going to go in there and
Rakic.
fight himself? Yeah. Yeah, no. Yuri came back to the scariest comeback fight of all time.
And that's why this is a horrible fight for Rakic. I mean, Yuri just came off the big long layoff.
oh,
Rakic blew his knee out a year and 10 months ago.
Right.
I know I'm a
But
Rakic, I'm a Rakic dick rider.
Yeah, but Rakic didn't have a choice. They said, this is who you have to fight. And he said, okay, fuck.
oh.
You know, what's he going to do? Turn it down?
Yeah, well, that's not like a bad thing, though.
Wow.
I wouldn't like count that against him.
No, not at all. Jared Leto.
All right. So there you have it. That's what we've narrowed it down to.
Oh man, that is right up there with Aaron's and Win for me. I enjoyed that fight. I did like that. I liked the heavyweight slugging it out. I'm gonna say Aaron's and Win is still my overall
Light heavyweights.
light heavyweights.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I've got mine.
Everybody's heavy compared to me.
I think all of ours is probably the same, to be honest.
Well, I don't know yet. I mean, I know what's number one.
Yeah. Number one is Aaron's and Win.
Yes. Jarno, Aaron, Steven, Win. Shout out to you guys.
Fight of the year so far.
The first third of the year, we're about a third of the way through the year.
April.
I think that's the fight of the year so far.
I agree. 2 is City Tavares.
I agree.
3 is Yuri Rakic for me. 4 is Curtis Allen, and 5 is Dricus Strickland. That's what I've got.
The Curtis. Well, we got one more. Zellhuber Prado.
Oh yeah.
I think
Fuck. Never mind then.
I'm probably putting Zellhuber Prado third.
Yes. I totally forgot to put that down. I agree. And then that means Yuri Rakic is 4.
So, I mean, what do we? Yuri. I guess Clem, you already said you enjoyed that fight a lot.
That's tied for second.
That
with me.
versus Brendan Allen.
Really?
Yeah.
You think that was like way better than the Brendan Allen fight? Although it was a finish.
I was doing this overall on a scale of 1 to 10 is how I was doing that.
That's probably the best way to do it.
So after each fight, I was like, oh, that was a 7.5 out of 10 for me, or a 5.5 kind of a thing.
Read them all.
So overall, I gave Aaron's and Win an 8. I liked that fight a lot. That's my top of the line so far.
Yep.
For me, that was like an 8 out of 10 fight. Big fan. Tied for second, I have Yuri and Rakic and City and Tavares. Those were my 2. I liked those. Those were tied for 2, which puts number 4, Zellhuber and Prado.
Yeah.
Big fan of that. Gave that one a 7 overall. Where are we at here? My number 5 is Allen and Curtis.
Yeah.
My number 6 is Strickland and Duplessis.
That's what I
Okay,
have.
so you had City Tavares tied with
Yuri
and Rakic.
Yep.
That's the only difference is
What-
I wouldn't have it tied.
I liked City and Tavares. I liked the crisp, beautiful striking that came with it. I felt like the combinations were nice. You could see the adjustments happening in the fight. But like we said, City was definitely the one on offense the whole time. Tavares was just kind of backing up, but he was super violent when he threw.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that. And he didn't get hit a whole lot. He was doing pretty good about that. Whereas Yuri and Rakic came with the exact opposite mindset. They both came to just fucking bang. Rakic won the first round and then ended up getting knocked out. So it was competitive throughout the 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I liked that.
I'm going to lean Yuri and Rakic only because both guys were there for war more so
Exactly.
than Tavares.
Exactly.
Tavares
That's exactly,
was a
yeah.
little, which I don't blame him for it,
Yeah.
but he was a little bit less like, let's slug it out and bang here.
Yeah,
Right.
so I think so that's kind of where I'm torn at. I think the excitement of Yuri and Rakic is what drew me into that, loving that fight. But I liked the beauty of the striking that came
Right.
with City and Tavares. So
Yeah.
it's 2 different aspects.
And
but
I like that
them
they're
equally.
younger guys that
Yeah.
don't have a name for themselves. You can sense the hungriness between the two.
For sure.
Which you obviously
Well,
sense the
so-
hungriness with Yuri, but
So
it's
they fought twice now, City and Tavares.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a situation where it's like they bring the best out of each other?
maybe
You know, like
Maybe.
they're going to look back and be like, I needed that guy.
Yeah.
like Max and Volk kind of situation.
Yeah. That
I know you would
more
hate to admit
one-sided. That was more
A little
one-sided.
more one-sided, but Max also won one of those fights.
But it's like they had a contender series. Like they're regional MMA guys, both of them.
Yeah.
They have a contender series fight, and then they have a UFC. Their first UFC fight
Yeah.
against each other, and it was the first UFC fight was a banger. So it's like I feel like whether their career goes the way they want it to or not, they're going to look back and be like,
Do you feel like with them having split that, at any point they will do a rematch?
I hope
I don't think it's necessary
No,
immediately.
no,
by
no.
any
I
means.
don't.
this will
we
never
can hope.
This probably
I doubt
isn't
it.
going to happen, but I would love to see them like really both like make a run
Sure.
and then meet at the
And
end.
be
That'd be
forced
cool.
to have to do
Maybe
it.
not like a belt,
like a
but
number
like
1 contender type.
Yeah,
thing.
that'd
for,
be
the,
sick.
for the belt, that'd be sick.
That'd be sick. What was that? Featherweight? Is that what that was?
I think so. Or lightweight.
Hold on. 130. Bantamweight, I guess.
Oh.
That's a tough division to do that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
Catchweight at 139.
139.
Someone missed weight then.
So
So
they're-
the catchweight was
they're
at one.
bantamweights.
It was at 140, and then neither of them made 140. Is that what the catchweight was? There's no way
No,
the catchweight was 139.
Well, it says they weigh in 135. Somebody missed weight. I think Tavares missed weight.
Yeah.
I think
So
that's what
then
it was.
it was a catchweight at 140,
Yeah.
but
Either
not
way,
for a-
they're bantamweights. That's a tough division. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if I see either of those guys getting to the top of that division with Marab and Corey.
no
but
chance. And Sean
But they're also 24.
and Aljo.
I'd love to see
Aljo
it
went
though.
up.
Judging off of, I mean, obviously there's anomalies. John Jones was an early one. Sean O'Malley ended up getting an early championship run in that, becoming the champion, obviously.
Well, because he got favored by the UFC to get there.
Sure, but because he was selling tickets, he's a hot commodity.
Right.
Nonetheless, so when I've talked to people about the opportunities that come with going to the UFC, they want you in the UFC by 23, 24, 25-ish and want to build you. So hopefully you're at your peak at 30, 31.
When
That's
you're
when
they're
they're
aiming
going to.
and you already have
So
fights.
in an ideal world, the UFC might take 5 years to build these guys. Like think about where they could be 5 years from now
Well,
versus.
that's what they did with O'Malley. About 5 years.
He just did it
So
fast.
you got City who's 27 and Tavares who's 30.
Okay, well, I was a little bit
But-
off on there. I thought they were younger than that.
Also, I feel like
no, I was talking about the other guy.
we've seen Prado and Zellhuber.
yes.
I'm a
That's
fucking idiot. Okay.
Prado and Zellhuber is exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
But also,
I don't see either one of these guys making it to the top of their division.
no,
No.
probably not.
I don't
Not
see
at
Brendan.
this
I don't
age.
see Brendan Allen ever fight for a belt. You know,
But I think it's, I don't know. I think we've seen plenty of guys when the young guys get like the step up,
Yeah.
and it doesn't go well.
Right.
So it's like, it's a fine line. I mean, I think the UFC, they have a tough job in the sense that like you can't make every young guy fight slowly up to the
Right.
top. I mean, look at what's fucking, hey, you guys, you know,
The Goonies.
Raul Rosas.
Yeah.
He lost to Christian Rodriguez,
Yeah.
good.
who Christian Rodriguez is good, but it's like that was their attempt to try to build him.
So
And
the
he
way
didn't,
that
he
it,
didn't come through.
the way it
Yeah.
happens, obviously it happens to sometimes more extreme on a regional level. But if they are wanting to build you, they're going to give you like an opponent you should beat, and then a couple opponents that are like, this should be a test, but you should beat them, and then we're going to take a big test.
Right.
So at the end of that, hopefully at worst, you're sitting at 3-1.
Mhm.
You lose that one, now you're like, you kind of repeat that process. Maybe it's like, you should beat this guy, a little bit tougher guy. Now we take another challenge. So then at the worst, you're 5-2.
They get to a place where you can't be cut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Raul Rojas, however you say his name, didn't pass the test. Basically, he should have been able to beat that guy and maybe lost to the next guy.
And those are the kind of fights that end up being the most important fights in those people's careers, and they don't realize it until way later.
Right.
And that's the thing about that Christian Rodriguez loss is I feel like now, even now, not that long. How long ago was that? Like a year and a half or something?
Was it already that long?
A year? I mean, either way, like,
I don't know.
It looks better that he lost to him now because he beat Isaac Bulgarian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
and Cameron Simon.
Yeah,
which that's a big one.
I think Christian Rodriguez is like surprising the UFC.
Yeah,
like
Rojas needs to be cheering for him. He needs to win every
like
time
Sean.
out.
Sean has surprised the UFC, and he's not a guy that they wanted to be champ. You know.
I think that's one thing we should talk about is like the fact that there's some guys that like this guy isn't going to ever cut it, but there's some guys. It's like every other sport. There's some guys that you're like, I don't know about that guy, and then he's like one of the best.
Absolutely, just comes from work and evolving, and it's kind of what I was mentioning earlier about every 6 months you need to make sure that you could have beat your ass from 6 months ago. So people are constantly evolving and progressing, and once you get stagnant and think I'm good enough at this or I'm good enough at that, you stop evolving.
I think that right there is really, really good words of wisdom for any potential up and coming fighters that might be listening to this podcast from a pro fighter himself. Like that's good. That's a good way to think about things.
Yeah.
Can I beat my ass from 6 months ago?
And you should almost.
I feel like if I were a pro fighter, I would have that same mind frame. I'd be like, man,
if the answer is no, you need to take a serious step back and say, is it me and my work ethic? Is it the gym that I'm at?
Exactly.
Is it my training partner?
That's what I wanted to ask you.
You have to be honest.
Is it the gym that I'm at? Should I move to different gyms?
Sure.
Should I go out of state and take a fucking chance on myself? Like those are big sacrifices that you have to make to be a champ.
Well, if you come to the conclusion that it's your gym, you need to have a real talk with your coaches and your owners, the owner of the gym or whoever's running your classes, basically, and sit down and be like, "Here's how I'm feeling this. Like, what do you feel? What do you think my issue is?" And if you can't come to a resolve,
as in like, "Hey, coach, I feel like I've reached my peak here."
Right? Yeah. Or I don't feel like you're giving me the work. You're not at practice enough, or I don't have enough quality teammates here.
Yeah, training partners.
whatever that may be, and every gym's going to have a slightly different case.
For sure.
But if your gym owner all of a sudden just gets backlash and is like, "No, you're just a piece of shit," then yeah, you should probably leave. It's not a good coach.
Right.
A good coach is going to say, "All right, well, maybe we start getting in an extra session every couple days or something like that, and start figuring it out along the way." And forcing you to, and they may be like, "Dude," and that's the reality check. You may think that it's your coach, and the coach turns around and says, "Nah, dude, you have a shitty work ethic, bro." And you have to be able to take that criticism and go home and kind of talk to your demons a little bit and figure out if that's true or not.
And that's the hardest part of the whole game. But like
taking the blame is the hardest part.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But it's also liberating because then it's like it's like admitting when you're wrong about something and be like, you know what, I was wrong about that. There's a lot of freedom in that.
Yeah.
But also there's also those outliers because there's could be those guys to where they never even changed from their tiny little gym. Two examples would be Max Holloway and Bryce Mitchell.
There's absolutely
both in their tiny ass little gym, and there's no actual true like they know they can beat all their training partners and all their coaches' asses in that gym, but they're still.
I'm sure Bryce Mitchell doesn't. But does Max Holloway fly in people for his camps? Does he bring in specific people? Does he say, "Oh,
I don't think he does"?
Okay.
Well, he didn't spar forever.
Yeah,
but
until
for Gaethje, he did.
But he didn't spar his last 5 or 6 fights.
That he didn't bring sparring partners in.
I mean, right.
Probably. I just hadn't heard of any.
He's not fighting with...
Usually you hear about these things, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted undisclosed.
Maybe. Yeah. I wonder who it would have been, though. Who's flying out to his tiny little gym in Hawaii?
I mean, that's how much he's paying him. They say Habib's training camps cost over $100,000 because he bring people in.
Yeah. I think like people, sparring partners implementing or like imitating.
Yeah, and thinking about what game plan you're going to be.
Of course. Especially if one guy's like, got 6 inches of height on you. You know, you can't be fucking wrestling some guy your size. All
yeah. I feel like I used to hear about this a lot more, but there was a lot of times where I would hear, like, you know, a few years ago about like this guy, like Anik or somebody, when this guy was about to fight, he would say, "Oh yeah, he spent time Like I think Jalen Turner did it. He flew out to somewhere to imitate Izzy or something.
He did. He
trained with somebody that was fighting Izzy.
Yeah,
correct.
I remember that. Actually.
And they used to it'd just be like a random guy that paid.
I like Jalen, dude.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's how I look at this sport in my very
casual,
like to the point,
fucking
like
sure, yeah.
know nothing about
it's
anything.
either it's like in these parameters or it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
that type of view. It's like, okay, step one is the work ethic. You got to have the work ethic to get to this level, and not anybody can do it. But if you have a certain mindset, you can probably get to this level. But then once you're at this level and you're fighting the best guys, I feel like you're either born with this level of making adjustments, and it's either you have it or you don't. And I feel like there's a lot of UFC guys that work super hard and they get to this point and then they hit this wall where it's like, this group of guys are just different. Like they were just born different with like the toughness and just like, obviously you know this better than I do, but like when you're in there, it's not just like as simple as like, okay, this guy's throwing this, so I'm going to make this adjustment and do this. Yeah,
because he's making adjustments on your adjustments. Right.
But the best guys, they do that.
Yeah.
They out adjust the other guy.
So, yeah, I think that like being prepared for anything, some people are like, okay, so to implement our game plan, we just got to win the footwork. We got to push them to the fence, take them to, I don't know, whatever. Right. Some people just really try to go with that simple game plan and give you too much freedom. And then some people, the champions, I feel like they have an answer that's been drilled for every possible outcome that might happen. And it's drilled because when you're fighting, you have split seconds where you think, oh, now I got to switch to this combo. Now I got to switch. If you're thinking with every combination and every reaction, you get your ass beat. That's just the reality.
And that goes back to the simplicity of when Mike Tyson's like, everyone has game plan until you punch in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you start getting hit, shit changes.
Yeah,
I mean,
no truer words have ever been spoken.
You need to be like working, in my opinion, you need to be like working pads and have them throw a certain reaction that you read, and then have them throw another one, like a different reaction that you have to make your read on.
Drilling,
and then over time they throw random things at you based on what you think they're going to do, and you have to be able to do all those without thinking anymore. You have to make it a habit.
Right. To me, drilling is hands down the most important part of training.
Yeah, 8 weeks shouldn't be what it takes you to get in camp. Like people want, I want these 8 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it is, so I can get in shape and be ready to go. You should already be 80% in shape, in my opinion. You should be ready to go.
You're just working on cardio and all that other
and creating new muscle memory. Right. Sometimes when I slip, I'm going to throw a 2 based on a different opponent. Now when I slip, I might throw a 4 depending on the reaction. So it's about building that muscle memory.
Right.
And I think that's what I mentioned Volk earlier, being able to make adjustments. I think that's what he's better at than anybody, is that he's probably seen everything you're going to do already before you get in there. But he's also probably got some natural ability.
Sure. Yeah.
But,
so back to, people who are in the unknown of who they bring in for training camps, because you don't really hear about it. Who is Yuri? What's Yuri doing?
See, Yuri, I think is a different story.
Yuri's a different story. That motherfucker, I don't think he's actually like paying a lot of money for training camps and bringing people out.
Just crazy.
I think he's just fucking. I think he's meditating his ass. He fasted for 3 days and set in one and like just cross-legged for 3 days.
It's crazy.
And then
and that's another thing. There is plenty of guys that, like, there is the big super gyms, but there's also guys that have been very successful in the sport that have been from like the small gym.
They don't need it.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're more productive with how their mind frame works and how they obtain information and like, actually drill everything better on their own. Like they're extroverted kind of people.
And also I feel like there's plenty of guys that they lose one fight and they're at a top team and they lose one fight and now they're at AKA and now they're at Jackson and they just bounce around.
It's gym sluts. Yeah.
I don't know. Is it like a coach-fighter relationship or what is it?
I think that coach-fighter... So I actually just told someone
It is for Justin Gaethje.
I think as long as your coach is pretty knowledgeable, the best coach is the one that you get along with the best.
Yeah.
And that seems cliche, but it's the people like... You need to be friends with your coach. Like there needs to be a fine line.
It's
obviously.
It's the same as marriage, dude. Same as like finding your soulmate.
You understand your coach's lingo, though.
Yeah.
Sean and Tim Welch.
Yes.
Tim doesn't really train anybody at this highest level, but I feel like they're just on the same page with everything.
They get it.
Or Holly and what's his dick?
Wink.
Yeah.
Winklejohn. Mike Winklejohn. Like, she's always been with just him.
But so she trusted him because trust is a big thing. And when I can hear a coach just say something that it's just gym lingo, just the way he talks on a regular basis, I don't have to overthink what he's trying to say in there.
Right.
And you have to be able to trust.
There's less time wasted.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's way more productive.
And yeah, especially when you're getting choked or you're responding to punches flying, you have to be able to, that quick reaction has to go. Otherwise, if you're thinking too much and trying to process, you're just going to get your ass beat.
All right. Let's recap real quick. Fight of the year.
My fight of the year is Aaron's versus Win. That fight was bomb.
Same.
Okay. That's what we're going with.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
We're pretty sure we all have the exact same.
Close.
He has a tie, but I'm more on your end with the
And
not
you
tie.
had you had City
tie.
Tavares second.
Yep, that was
Okay,
my tie for
okay.
2 with Yuri and Rakic.
We're just gonna Yuri Rakic is up there. That one, if it's just everyone judges today, maybe Yuri Rakic gets it because of the name value.
He's my favorite out of all the fighters on that list.
But I think out of the ones we watched tonight, best fight,
Aaron's.
Jarno Aaron's, Stephen Wynn.
Agreed.
I think there's going to be better ones.
I also
rest of the
don't
year.
think that those two guys are going to probably be in a better fight for the rest of their careers.
No.
I think it's just
But,
one of those nights.
Takes two to tango.
Yeah, for
Exactly.
sure. Styles make fights.
Which I'm still going to be a fan of those guys either way, unless they just are epically awful for the rest of their careers.
I don't see it.
I didn't know much about Jarno Aaron's before that, but I was like, damn, I need to watch this guy.
Yeah.
Because I liked his striking a lot. Anyways, Clem, thanks for
Anytime.
being here.
Yeah.
Appreciate
What
it.
is
fun.
Austin, right?
Yes, my name is
Okay.
Austin.
Where-
Aston?
Aston.
Aspen.
At Pink Lemonade.
Thanks for watching. Follow Clem. And then if you want to follow the podcast, you can do that too.
No, you will.
Subscribe to the channel.
That's more important than me, actually.
100%.
In 4 months, we'll be back again for the same video. So you need to hit the bell notification to see that. Appreciate you guys watching.
And Chad and Dylan will not be here for that 4-month one too. So
I think this is
definitely
like a us three thing.
100%. Let's
No.
go ahead and make sure
kick
that
rocks, boys.
Yeah. So up the likes to really burn it into those other two assholes.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.